Well, to begin it off, let's start on the special episode 12, Call of the Netherdeep. And I went ahead and did a thing to help celebrate for the new year, so I apologize in advance for this. For our recap, 'twas the night of arriving here in Bazzoxan, after 2 weeks surviving through the Xhorhas wasteland. Strolling out of the heat wave right up to the gates, but what else besides rude guards would await? Standing in the road, milling about unfettered, when came walking up with a camel, 'twas an orc out the desert. He told him forthright to stop blocking the trail, and to this Saeryn replied, "Hey, just go around, pal." Now to make haste they entered the city, to be greeted by gloom mood, drab, and shitty. They were to be escorted to the one in command, a drow named Varen Thalis, the city's task hand. The town was too quiet, Morgen was considering, when some demons appeared, mouths that were gibbering. Flee or fight, there was no trepidation. It was a call to arms without hesitation. On Aljin, on Morgen, on Ludo riding forth atop Zephyr, with Saeryn changing luck from the back for good measure. While one of the soldiers was consumed by the maw, the other fled while yelling, dash away, y'all." With battle over, a crisis averted, the city streets were no longer deserted. Weary and worn, nightfall coming soon, the party retreated to the ready room. Time for celebrations and youthful carelessness showing. Aljin flashed gold and told the barkeep, "Keep the drinks flowing." They met an odd tiefling with her hair all bushy and wild. A bit clumsy herself, she spelled drink on her pile. High upon the table, various textbooks and drawings. She said that showed proof a mythic resonance was calling. At that moment they noticed a blonde-haired elf a-creeping. She had been caught red-handed, Eve's peeping. While Ludo's social attempts left him feeling awkward and lame, she walked away exclaiming, "I didn't ask for your name." "Subtle spell, detect magic," Saeryn replied, and hiding in her bag was something red inside. Now all of a sudden the satyr was all alone, with a mysterious stranger come to say hello. At that we left off, with an interludo in between, although what happened there still remains to be seen. Now as I finish wrapping up my long-winded digression, I hope you all have had a good year. Now let's have a great session.
Yay.
Yeah.
That was absolutely fantastic.
All right, well, that's all the prep that I had. Basically, that took way too much time.
3 weeks of prep for that. All of that time is completely worth it.
Yeah.
Yes, I
He looked,
saw a few
else going
fun
on. What are you guys doing?
tributes. And yeah, it was something that got in my brain that I wanted to do.
A little bit of an earworm there.
It's I'll post that in the Discord 100%. But that is, I guess, the official wrap up.
I mean, that's exactly what happened. 100%.
So we left off in the scene of the ready room after you all battled, weary-worn, travel exhausted. Aljin and Ludo started in a chugging beer competition while Saeryn was left off in the middle of a daze. In that moment, unseen, perhaps, Ludo perhaps just gets people lose track of him throughout the night and all the chaos and movings and goings. Although, we'll see what happens with that. Where we left off, however, was with Saeryn having a moment. So let's end this music and get a little bit more intrigue going as we flicker back to that scene. As Saeryn, you're sitting there in the haze of the smoke and fog of the tavern, reflecting on the day and the travels and that detect magic that you had casted. You're pondering on that red substance when you find yourself lost in that moment of time, and it's that, once again, that flicker. The room empties out. Flicker once again, and there's that mysterious stranger sitting in the corner, shrouded in shadow, and they just look at you and say, "Ah, hello."
Whoa. It is stranger.
Do you realize how difficult it is to track down a singular satyr on the prime material plane?
Well, I can't really imagine there's that many of us. So, pretty easy.
You are a special case, it seems. Now,
Go on, Paul. We just met and you already calling me special. I liked it.
I've had my eye on you for a while. I don't think you realize just how many hands are reaching into the same pot as you are right now.
And what port might that be?
Ooh, I think you saw it earlier, and that's what was able to draw my attention. Something.
Can I assume he's talking about that red glow?
Yeah, no insight required, and he even follows up. He says, something red.
Something red, something blue, something old, something new. We're going to a wedding? What are you talking about?
You have the singular, unique chance of being outside fate, as they would say it. Perchance of your bending of luck, if you will. And things I can't see or determine frustrate and intrigue me. Much like that red. Are you of a similar nature?
Similar nature to the red, or just a similar nature of something that frustrates you?
The frustration of curiosity.
I get frustrated by my curiosity fairly frequently. You know, just have to keep rolling. Try not to get fixated on one thing for too long a period of time. It's bad for you.
I will say, is that a truthful statement or a deception from Saeryn?
He's completely obsessed with the whole like fate and luck thing. So that's been an ongoing thing his entire life. So other interests might be passing by the wayside, but no, he's been obsessed with one thing for a very long time. So I would say that's probably a deception.
Okay. And
is that what you like as a role?
Yes, if that is a deception, yes. That's why it's like, because I definitely want you to, make the call of what Saren's intentions are here.
All right. I'm not going to use a portent on this. Haha. Should have used the portent was only 2 better than that, so.
Fair. No. And you see, like, this figure still completely shrouded in shadow, even though, like, the rest of the room, like, the candlelight is still, like, fairly well lit. And even then, you can still see the smile spread across their face. And they say, I'm sure. There have been many hands moving things forward. And I feel that you are in the path of that wake. But have you ever pissed off a moon god before?
Can't really say that it's knowing me, maybe, but they haven't told me about it.
I wouldn't recommend it. You'll owe them too many favors. And let's just call this a way of getting even in the end.
You're getting even with the moon god?
Hey, fair is fair, after all. Jib for jab.
So what do I have to do with this? Am I in trouble with the moon god? Or is the moon god very happy to see me?
That remains to be seen, I think, from what happens next. But all I know is a great many mysteries surround this red. It's when you try to look at something and your eyes peel off of it. I don't like that. All I've asked or require, if you get your hands on some of that red, is there anything you desire?
That's a good question. Maybe I want to know what the red is too.
Knowledge is also fair barter.
Tell you what. How about I work on a way to get that red, and while I'm doing that, I'll also think of something to ask you for in exchange for it.
That is all I wanted to hear. Just, be careful and try not to let yourself get caught up in the hands that move everything else along.
Do I hear the dice rattling at this point?
Oh, yeah, the thundering.
Okay, yeah. The second he said that, I'm like, oh no. I think the hands have me. I think I'm getting juggled like the dice.
Mm-hmm. He says it's frustrating, and honestly, the rattling never stops. And I can understand wanting something for yourself for all the trouble.
Yeah, it would be trouble.
Just think about it. I always hate to be so forward in my approach, but you saw the red, and I want to know what it is as well.
If it makes you feel any better, when I come to, they're probably just going to think it's some weird fae thing, and they won't even ask me about it.
It is a privilege and a curse sometimes.
Have I gotten any better sense of what this person looks like?
Go ahead and make a perception check. Yeah, you're like sitting like pretty much it's like almost like this is like that perspective view. You're sitting like a good hand, like 10 feet away from them. They're on the other side of a massive table. Say, did that roll come through? Oh no, he's still there.
I'm not going to use the portend because it's just a middling 14, so I am going to roll for it.
Okay, okay, that was the consideration. Love it. No, like that's, you hear the dice rattling in your head, and like you do have that vision of like being
having
able
like
to
a really
grab
mid
that chance.
portent is kind of lame. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's always here's like, well,
okay.
this is All
That's
right.
a total of 21.
21 on the crit perception. So you're spending this time in how are you perceiving this like conversation and like confrontation? Like what it's like you're basically, are you like trying to like spend that time to like ink out some sort of detail or clue?
Yeah, I think I'm like looking at the face of this person who's just kind of enshrined in shadows, and I still notice that at least in the picture, there's still like little candles and such kind of speckled through the area. I think underneath, I can't subtle spell at this point, but I think Saeryn will. Under the table, since it doesn't have a verbal component, it's just somatic. Perform the practice little digit motions in order to increase, like slowly control the flames and increase the brightness of each flame around the guy. But try and do so like while talking and slowly, so it kind of brightens his face. Not to the point where he notices it, but just so that I have dark vision, so I have a slightly more of an edge on terms of seeing him.
Yeah, and it's through that whole conversation, it's that like subtle, slow change over time that, like, unless you're aware of and actively looking for it, that would be almost imperceptible. And it's eventually over time, it's the light is hitting, and you notice where this shrouded in shadow figure, where the light hits them, it like almost tries and begins to like melt off of it, like almost like it's like a veil that is parting, and it's with the intention of to hide, but you just that slow persistence burn, and it's at the very end, it's that motion as they make a gesture, as like you feel like they kind of like wave their hand towards the flames, and like it dims in just a little bit, but that motion of difference, you do catch it, and underneath that flicker of light with that 21 perception, it's a flash of a green cloak and a strand of red hair, just like a bushy mane. And like at that point, they like shift and move again, and like you've like that hood goes back up, and that shadow reshrouds, and they're just like, Curious satyr.
Green cloak and mane of like a lot of red hair, like bushy red hair.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Well, just think about it. If you have something, or if you ever need any help, feel free to ask. Unlike others, I will never force or coerce or push you on a path. I will just give you options.
Everyone likes options, especially someone who likes to gamble like me.
As they say, time to roll the dice. And with that, flashback, and it's through that haze of the fog, and like you kind of blink your eyes again and come to, and you're back surrounded in that inn, and everything is back as it, and it is like almost like, did that happen instantaneously? Were you out of it in a daze for a few moments? It's hard to tell immediately. So that's where you're at. That you basically come to, and so like what's on your mind? What's your actions? What are you thinking?
Well, I was just making a note about this guy. There, fixed. Now I'm more curious about that red than previously, because now knowing that other people want it makes me want it even more. So, is my detect magic still up or no?
Roll 2d10 for me.
I got a 12.
You feel like it just fading out.
Missed it by a couple minutes. That's fine. In that case, I'm guessing that I don't see the person who was carrying the bag at this point anymore either.
Yeah, so is he at the end of that? That's like, because this is probably like you weren't sure exactly how long you were sitting there pondering about the red when that haze happened, but it was after they had seemingly left out of sight. So they've been gone for at least like, they could have been gone for a moment or two before this all happened, or they could have disappeared during that time. It's hard to tell.
Gotcha. I can't subtle spell anything anymore, so I'm actually going to hold off on locating the object because that's a whole that's a whole VSM type scenario, and I don't want to freak anyone in the tavern out.
Oh yeah, especially Saeryn knows casting spells, around unwarranted it's never advisable. But you come back to the festivities, the inn is roaring, everyone's having a good time, the drinks are clattering and flowing, at least as much as joy can be had. Like, it is, you do feel like people here are drinking in good spirits in, like, spite of the environment.
Well, that was a hell of a thing.
And so you look around, and maybe you're trying to look for your other party members at this point.
Yeah, I was about to say, where did they run off to?
All right, well,
standing in the middle of the floor, dazed.
I would say between Aljin or Morgen. I'll leave that to y'all.
Let's try to remember we left off last time. We were in the inn. Ludo and I were in a drinking contest. I said keep coming, and that's the same day. So that's still half.
Yes, so this is still like time. Pretty much been like a short beat of partying and drinking. So cutting back over to Saeryn, looks over and catches Aljin still sitting at that bar probably. You have a number of empty glasses and tankards around you because you rolled really, really well on your constitution.
Looking back, it was
like a 25. It was insane.
21, I think, my con save. I think it was that one. It was still pretty good.
Yeah, so you guys are like... And you've been probably drinking, having cheer, like chatting up with whoever. And it is at this moment you probably realize, oh, fuck. What's the last time you saw Ludo? Oh, well, he's probably around. And you keep on going and roaring.
Yeah, it would just be idle conversation of just like, maybe doing some silly little parlor tricks of like, finishing a cup. And then when someone's not looking, I would, if mine's empty and theirs is full, I would fill mine full of water off of my just ability to fill a thing up full of water and like try to slide them my water cup and then steal their beer, like something stupid like that, where he's just drunk enough where he's like, I'm gonna see if this works, fill that up, and then like looking around and just try to sleight of hand them, just to see if it would work, see if he can do 20.
I was gonna say, yeah. Go ahead, roll that sleight of hand check. But yeah,
I said I was gonna roll it. So he like took his last drink of it. He's like, oh, damn it. Okay, and he like taps the cup as like from the bottom up, fills up, and the guy next to him, he would tap his shoulder on the other side, the stupid trick, and then he switches their cups and just starts drinking.
Yeah, and so you see that, and this person sitting next to you, this like big, probably like 6 foot 4 inches, like 6.5 foot bugbear, this huge hulking hairy figure, just like large tusk tooth coming down, just like just long ass hulking limbs, but what you notice is like very noticeable about them is they're actually full bare chested with those like bandolier strips that like go across and that like crisscross, but on their chest and like where like it should be like full bushy hairy mane, it's like almost shaved off to like show off their muscles and pecs and their full chest is fully bare, and on that chest is like you see a tattoo, and it's just like a little like googly-eyed face with a smiley face and like 2 like little tusks.
I make a little switcheroo there and just sort of turn away and like sort of like, oh, I wonder where Ludo is, and like sort of look around and then spot Morgen, off to the side as I walk away with this guy's beard. Even though I paid for a whole
and you see, you just hear him like, bless you. It's just like, oh, I need another beer, and he just like takes the one that in front of him that you switched out and just chugs it in like one go, and then like, hey, one other, and then he looks over. He's like, where are you going?
Trying to find my friend. Trying to find my friends, I think.
Come back, get another round.
Oh, hey.
And
sure.
So he reaches out with like a big hairy claw and just like kind of goes to like wrap and grab you back in, and trying to just pull you back in the festivities. Do you go with it?
At this point, like the turn around to see if I could find Ludo, and he's not there.
Yeah.
I might just be like, aren't you picking up this round?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and you see like you have this pile of drinks in front of you, and he has like a big pile of drinks in front of him, and he's just like, the drinks were just flowing.
Huh.
Let's get another round.
Okay, let's. Hold on, let me see if my friends want one. I see one over there. I think let me go ask him real quick, and then I will be right back, and we'll have another beer. We'll have another ale. It sounds great.
Yeah.
I'll be right back though. You find he's sort of like trying to like pull away.
Yeah, so with that sleight of hand earlier, like with that, like you're able to like kind of slide another like half full like of water in front of him, and that like distracts him just enough. And he says, "Next round to Captain Tusktooth," and he chugs that back.
Okay, I'm debating. I mean. Not saying anything though. Hearing that name, picking that name up a little bit, I give a little worrying glance over to him. I'm like, oh, okay, and just sort of walk back and try to find Morgen wherever she made off at this point.
So we'll do that. Catch up, zip over, rewind, catch up to Morgen. You've probably been sitting here watching all this go for a while, and so like whatever from the early beginning of the night, we could get into whatever you think Morgen would have been focusing on.
I think that as the night starts, she would have been like pretty reserved on drinking too much, but as the night goes on, it seems like everyone's making merry at this point in time. She'd indulge a little bit, but that would mean that she would indulge in a little bit more and a little bit more. And kind of by this point in time, she's probably a little drunk and very sociable with all the people, with as much as you could be with a 500 whatever year old elf. So she'd probably be mid joke as he gets by, saying something like, I met this one witch. She lived in the desert. She accidentally turned herself into a pig, and I said, oh, look, a ham sandwich.
You get inspiration.
Hell yes. I know she would definitely just be like, drinking it up with everyone here, and it's just around.
Yeah, and you see, just like the crowd of people like just laugh up to you. You got like a couple contingent of Aurora Watch guards sitting there, and then like one person sitting in more like, it looks like Luxon style, like clerical robes, having like a nice glass of wine as well at the bar. Everyone like laughing and enjoying it. you just like, she said a ham sandwich, you get it? Because she's a witch in the desert sand. Oh my god, it's so fucking funny. Yeah, like some person just over explaining the joke to their friend who clearly also gets it.
And be like, I like this guy. I like this one a lot.
Oh, you remind me of the old Nana, yo. I want to get you another drink. Come on me.
Let's go. And I'd definitely grab one with this guy.
Yeah, and you see it's just like some young, like, drow elf, still clean shaven, the white hair, like, short buzz cut, kind of, very militaristic. And you see it's just like some young lad, out having fun. And that's when you get, Saeryn and Aljin, both of you probably walk over and y'all make contact at that point.
Ah, my friends, how are you?
Doing just fine. Hey, Morgen, you feeling okay there?
Couldn't be better.
This is an odd sight right now. An odd feeling right now. I'm just trying to get away from that big dead bugbear back there. I kind of made friends with him accidentally, and really don't want to be over there at this point. So I'm just going to hang out with you guys, I think, for the time being. Has anybody seen Ludo? I know he was next to me, and I started talking to that guy over there, and then I actually don't know if it's, I assume a guy. And then, yeah. Then
okay, so two things. One, how are you not used to making friends accidentally? That seems like a thing you'd be particularly good at.
Well,
so
I am good at making them.
I just
don't necessarily want to talk to him right now, though.
And you all look back at the bar, and he's like very boisterous, like around. He's like, "Where'd Tiny Blue go? Yeah. Blue, my boy, where'd you go?"
That's most of the reason, right there.
Those are some long arms. Jeepers.
Yeah, you see he reaches way over the bar, and actually when the bartender has his back turned, he just reaches over and grabs a bottle that's sitting on the well behind the shelf and pulls it out and just just sits there and starts drinking.
I bet he gives great hugs. Anyway, and as far as Ludo's concerned, are you suggesting that we lost a guy who wears big armor and has glowing eyes?
It seems like, when you put it that way, it seems silly, but can you find him?
I'm gonna perception check.
Maybe he's invisible.
Can he do that?
I don't know.
You don't know that he can't do that, do you?
I don't know he can't. Nope.
Yeah.
I am absolutely sure he's not here.
Yeah, you take a quick peek around, and you clock all the people in the room. There's a whole various group, but yeah, you don't see anything. You see the two drow patrons of the bar, the Primo twins, and they're doing that, serving another round of drinks, but nothing.
Alright, did someone make him mad or something? He's been quiet the last couple days of traveling, and now this?
I mean, he does like his alone time. He only just kind of tolerated me, but now being a bigger group, it's sort of, I mean, it might be just getting wearing on him a little bit. Maybe he just went up, found a room or something. I don't know.
Maybe he went to one of them change-bringer temples.
He might have done that.
I will say, I'll leave this entirely up to Morgen. Do you think you would have, throughout the beginning of the night, have either kept eyes on them or had Jacqueline keep eyes on if you ever noticed him? Would you have been aware of any moment, you think, or do you think you were too caught up once you started getting drinks in?
I think once Morgen would start getting drinks in, she would sort of kind of lose all disregard, or I guess disregard. You know what I mean.
Exactly.
However, Joaquin he's out there. He does his things. I don't know. He's got his own free will.
Yeah, I would say if you want to roll a perception at the beginning of the night for Joaquin, I'd allow that. He is a good bird.
He is a good bird.
for a DC 15.
I need to look up his.
As pointed out, he is a shiny armor, glowing eye, pale-skinned person. Not hard to find, but yeah.
Tis a 5 total.
Yeah, I think throughout the night, Joaquin has been sitting there, like, he thinks whenever you're not looking, he goes and, like, does a peck into, like, the glass of wine or whatever that you're drinking from. And, like, you just feel that, like, it's like you have that familiar bond, so, like, you know exactly what he's doing every time, but he just thinks he's being so sly and sneaky and just, like... But you've been, I don't know, probably purposely leaving the glass over to the side for him.
Absolutely.
It's just like... And you just hear in your head, like, unintentionally, because he's kind of getting a little drunk, he's like, I'm so sneaky. But yeah, so you guys do not have any real clue of where Ludo is. We all been having the night. It is like well into the evening at this point. You know, like all the torches and candles are all fully lit. You know, you see there's been a lot of livelihood. There actually, you see a bard actually does eventually like step forward up for it. It's just like a little halfling, black, dreary, you know, cloak, and they just pull out a small little string instrument and play like these, you know, small little sad dirges and tunes, but like they're just, you know, upbeat enough to like keep people stamping along. Very little lyrics, but it just helps with the mood. They have a little collector's tin out front. And then whatever y'all want to do.
I mean, it's not like I don't want to be friends with him. It's just I noticed on his chest, he was that big guy over there. He had a signia on his chest for a ship that sort of runs in the ship I used to run in. And I don't think I told you guys that. And I left with not like the great. I mean, the captain was fine with it, but I mean, that captain and my captain might have stole one of his captain's ships. Anyway, that's not here nor there.
What? Huh?
But so I just don't want to be next to that guy at this point. After I saw what he had on his chest, so yeah, I mean, no big deal.
Are we any DM question? Are we anywhere near a port? Like, what am I hearing? Like,
yeah, are we? Because you told me he just had a tusk tooth on his chest.
Yes.
Which
yeah.
makes me.
Yes. So yeah, you saw a little googly eye tattoo. Which Saeryn, I think, if you're familiar with it all. Yeah,
I'm from the Menagerie Coast.
Yeah, so you you as a character, but you as a player
has not seen campaign 2.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. But yeah, so you do know there is a pirate captain that has the name Tusktooth that has gained small notoriety over the years in that whole lane of area that, you know, Captain Tusktooth, and that is their insignia, actually. And yeah, this is not anywhere near a port.
Yeah. Anyway, I told you I was on a ship, but I didn't give you a ship name, and I pivoted on the name of the ship, so we're going to go
I can guarantee you, like, Matt Lohman Facemess does not know the ship name for any of the campaign 2 stuff, so it's fine. I'm not sure. I mean, Saeryn might just because of his involvement with like criminality and stuff.
Yeah, you know enough pirate come-ins and go-ins backgrounds. You've heard the name for sure. But yeah, you know, nothing like intimate knowledge.
Tusktooth. Huh. What a name.
Yeah, orc captain.
I was about to say probably an orc. That's really right on the nose, isn't it?
It kind of is on the nose a little bit, but yeah. So, I mean, they do some small come-ins and go-ins on, you know, freight hauling at this point. He's not really a pirate, but I'm not saying my captain wasn't really. He might have been. I don't really look too hard into it. I just sold stuff for him, really. But anyway.
You were a fence.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
A little pawn shop man, eh?
He liked that I could No, I could talk people into a deal, not necessarily on their end of the deal is the good side, but they thought they had a really good deal at the time.
Oh, so I get it. A grifter then.
Seems...
Confidence man.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you're real confident that you're grifting them.
Yeah, kind of that. Yeah. But I mean, I just using it to try to travel the world, and see what I could see at that point. So, kind of behind me at this point. I don't really want to deal with any sea folk at this moment, and we're kind of inland. I don't know what he's doing here.
Yeah, that was my second comment. Was that it seems a bit out of place. I mean, I seem a bit out of place too, but that's just kind of how I always am.
The only concern would be, did Tushtooth get into airships?
Who's her ships?
Airships.
Airships.
I think there's a few around here. Exandria has a few airships, I believe.
Yeah, they're pretty, like, most major cities have airports at this point.
So this area would not.
Not common for them to come in this area, but from, like, Menagerie Coast, I know, I'm pretty sure Nicodranus has, like, an airport.
I think there's like one city that very specifically on this continent does not allow, like, have airship ports.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember which one it is.
Yeah, because I think it might be more of like an inland empire type thing.
Yeah, I think it's actually probably the capital of the not the Kryn dynasty, but the other one, the
Dwendalian.
The Dwendalian Empire. I think their capital has no port for airships.
Yeah, I think because that's like one of their their very tight knit control over what they have there. So that would be for a bunch of wizards. You don't want to worry about air battle.
They teleport regardless. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, like as far as defenses, of like, yeah, that I imagine would what I'm justifying is canon reasons. But yeah, it's just it definitely seems very out of place, but. And then so Morgan's sitting there. I think you're just witnessing this scene of Aljin and Saeryn having this little bonding moment over the art of the grift.
Very fascinating, dear. So, what's the plan? You want to go find him, or you want to keep drinking?
Honestly, I kind of want to watch you keep drinking.
Oh, don't worry. No matter where we go, I'll have a little bit of something left over, and I'd kind of like pull out a small little flask of what Auntie Jollar and I were drinking. And
Yes.
She gave me a sip to go.
Besides, I'm pretty sure if he wanted us to find him, he would have left some way for us to find him. So he might just be out on his own. But I don't know. You guys know better than me.
I mean, I think we should just. At this point, that's a good point. He would have let us know.
Least I could do was try to locate his armor.
What is the time of day? Is night, evening, night?
Yeah, it's definitely pretty well into the evening. Not like late hours. It's not quite the witching hour. So there's still a little bit of evening left. So if you guys did want to go out walking around, see if there's any sort of not that Bazzoxan is expected to have a nightlife, quote unquote, but doubt you're going around expecting to find any clubs or anything. But there still seems to be like a bustle of comings and goings. Especially, you guys notice this being a predominantly drow-based society for the most part. There's all sorts of creatures that live and thrive in the late night hours, and prefer to sleep the day away. Actually, so that there's if you go outside, it's not like it's a dead city completely. Past its normal levels.
I think we should either stay here, maybe find a rooms for the night, or maybe sit and at least the four of us can figure out what the plan is. Assuming the other parties around here somewhere, maybe find them, or at least locate where they're staying at. Because I don't know if they're planning on moving on from here quickly, or if they're going to explore this area also.
Well, if we're going to be looking for the other party, then it might behoove us to actually get into a room so that I can attempt to perform a little locate spell to try and track them down.
Okay, Morgan, do you know anything about this area? Does this place have rooms? Morgan's like the only one I think that would have ever come here, since you're a little more sort of, I don't know, I'm just sort of throwing it out. A, DM, B, if Morgan wants to answer.
I was gonna say, actually, Morgan, you would recall you guys have rooms that were given to you from the task hand earlier here on the spot, but also maybe it was like as you're sitting there drinking that flask and something about thinking about the witching hour, it does come to your mind all of a sudden. You did have an old pen pal here in Bazzoxan.
Yeah, I would let them know. Well, I've never been here myself, but I do know somebody here. It's a long shot, but it might work. I have an old pen pal.
Yeah, you remember it was an old, just like one of those like professional colleagues. She always went by the name Zoya. You were always never sure exactly how to pronounce it, but she seemed to be in a similar trade, profession for you at least. And it was actually, incidentally enough, you had been introduced to her by your brother.
They always say you should never make fun of someone who mispronounces a word. That means they learned it by reading. I think her name was Zoya. Although it's been a while. Well, do you guys want to go see her? See if she can help us?
Sounds like a good start, and wouldn't want to go to the task hand without Ludo with us.
That's very true, very true.
Yeah, it's something to do for a little bit, I think.
Amazing. So let's flash you back to the map. Never mind some of the spots that you might see on your thing. A couple of spots that were highlighted. Don't worry about those names. You guys didn't do that.
Not like the sacrifice engine.
Yeah. But you do know those were those large pits when you walked in. But you head off and think Morgan. It's like you're trying to remember. They always mentioned it was like, how old witches like to be cryptic sometimes, and it's like the phrase of like, in the shadow of the Umbra Gates, where one of the streams comes down in the north side of the city, above the it's just some weird cryptic nonsense that you're able to eventually find your way and following directions and kind of like asking like a few people along the way. You do get directions to Zoya's house. So we'll go ahead and we'll bring you guys over, let you see the scene, and just picture this at nighttime. I didn't didn't think I had to get a night scene for it, but there's like a small river that kind of like runs off like a brook coming out of the mountains below the Umbra Gates, and you just see this little like witchy cottage, a bunch of like actual first time you've seen green and plant life in this city, at least so far. Small bushes as you approach, a bunch of various like skull bones and various accoutrements. There's a large cauldron sitting above a fire as you walk up, and it is still like fully cooking and bubbling, and you see like the smoke and rising off of it. And as you all walk up, you do see stooped over it. I don't have a token or anything, but this is just the scene. But you see an old lady, skin old, dried, and wrinkled, like almost pretty much like somehow looks even older than Morgen. So very tiny. She's like not quite a halfling, just like a very shrunken, hunched frame, pure stark white hair pulled into a very tight top bun, just like old Russian mother style, flowing deep velvet and black trimmed robes that like just overflow her at least like 3 or 4 times, you would assume. Like you cannot guess the actual shape and size of her body because of how many folds and bundles of cloth are like pouring off of her. There is various earrings on both ears, and her nose it's a pure silver septum piercing that sits there heavy, large gold necklace with a ruby hanging around her neck. And as she's just sitting there over that cauldron, bubbling here in the moonlight of the city, and as you walk up, she says, without even like, before she looks up, she like lifts the spoon up to her lips and takes like a quick sip and just like, "Ah, yes, so you finally came."
Zelia, you old coot, how are you?
"Oh, come here, you babushka. Let me see you in the light."
It's been so long. I kind of go up and, reach out for a hug.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, she like kind of comes out from behind the cauldron and waddles up and is just like, "Ah, yes, I knew to put more stew on. I had the feeling company was coming tonight."
You know, I really love what you've done with the place.
"Oh, yes, I've had a little bit of time, you could say."
Your plants are exquisite. These herbs in great health.
And outside the city, here in the shadow of the Umbra Gates, you just need a little bit of touch.
Well, come in. These are my friends.
Yes,
Zelia.
who is your friends? I welcome you. Let me, what may I call you?
I'm Al. Yeah, sure, Al. You're friends with Morgen, so I mean, happily friend of mine. Can I go sit in your creek for a little bit?
Yes, the waters, they are nice and cool even throughout the, here in the fall.
I'm just happy to see water. It's been, quite a long time, and the waves suck.
Yeah,
here, they're terrible.
She says, yes, the elemental touch, I could tell you. Please, my waters are a gift unto you.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll just for a few minutes. I'll be right back. Thank you. And he walks over and you see him like starfishing like into the water, just splashes in, just lays there for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
About 5 minutes later, he'll come walking back.
Yeah, and she looks in the back and she says, "Ah, siete, fair blessed. I welcome you."
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
I will shake your hand and Hopefully, no dice fall out there.
And just like quizzically goes to shake the old lady's hand.
Yeah. And she goes and like sits down. There's like this like large like little like toad just sitting there with like another smaller toad sitting on top of it, and she sits on the the porch is just like and pulls up like out of a small bag. It's like this large quilt fabric that she like has like the little like pins and needles, like the long metal like pointed tips, and she sits there and starts like weaving and crocheting this like large exquisite tapestry. And she's this like looks back to Morgen and she says, so I wondered when you would eventually come to this city.
Well, it seems fate would have it to be now, at this gracious time. Zoya, I have a little bit of a favor. If I may.
You may.
We seem to have lost one of our companions. Is there any way that you may assist us in finding him once again?
Many wayward souls do seem to find their way to this city. Any particular interests they may have?
Well, he is a devout follower of, I believe, Avandra. Clad in armor, he's not exactly the quietest around.
Like the change bringer, like the toss of a coin. Always fickle at best. But you say you have lost track of them.
Yes, I last saw him earlier this evening, and it's been a while.
I perhaps know a way. I could always whip up something, a little old spell for a friend, yes. But I ask you, what brings you all here to, if I may say this, unfortunate city?
We seek the Betrayer's Rise. We have some business there that we must attend to, and we can't do it without our other companion.
Yeah. And as you say that, you see as she's like sitting there knitting and crocheting this whatever cloth tapestry fabric, there's like this long red thread that she pulls through on the needle with like that one quick motion and pulls it all the way up to length, so it like comes taut. She's holding it overhead, pulling it out of the blanket, and then with the other hand in one quick fluid motion pulls out these silver shears and just a quick snip sound to cut it. And she says, yes, the Betrayer's Rise. And then punctures the needle back in, beginning another like little weaving with another red thread of fabric. And she says, and what business do you have in there? It is ill-advised to march towards your doom into the abyss.
Well, it's a long story, and I mean, I suppose you have time, right?
All the time in the world. And with that, just another quick pulls that red thread, snip with the silver sneers in a fast, quick motion. They get stowed back away into the folds of the robe, and then goes and moves, folds the cloth over, and begins threading in a different spot.
I feel like I would take the time to like go in like super detail with her and just kind of explain this whole scene, the whole thing, just at least from like my perspective of like, you know, just the quiet uneventfulness that I had been living in Jigao, and then how just like all of a sudden just thing after thing after thing, and it's like, well, and now, you know, here I am.
Your family and your callings. How is your brother?
I haven't spoken with him in a while, ever since I left the Shadowfell, but the last that I saw, he was taking care of our father, and I mean, no news is good news, am I right?
In the business that you both work in, the less you hear from each other, usually the better.
This is very true.
And yes, what about you two? So quiet in the back.
Aljin comes walking up, still a little wet. He's like, I mean, same. We're sort of on this, trying to figure out what's going on with the moon and these creatures that sort of go berserk with, the red is it ooze? I don't really remember all that much actually, but we sort of found one that sort of went crazy on us. Me and the other guy who's not here, and we took it to Morgen thinking she could help us, and it sort of goes into like the whole story, and then he'll bring into and then that party sort of separate from us, so we're kind of trying to find them too. They have something important, I think, and mostly just trying to see where this takes us. Kind of going with like the flow of it, really.
Yeah, and she says, many stories, many ill-fated born under that cursed red moon. And she, with another thread of that red, fabric, pulls through another snip of the silver silver shears. There it is. I was just like, wait, words. And she looks up, and as you all look now at the thing as she's fumbling and moving it around, it's been hard for your eyes to focus on the cloth. It's fabric is a silver reflected, almost like a thin gossamer veil, but throughout it are these images that seem to blur and blend into each other. But as she takes that final that one snip and goes to move it, you do see in the image there's a large red moon sitting in the top center of whatever she is weaving. And underneath that is all a bunch of different images and figures all reaching towards it. It's just that quick little flash of an image. And she says, there are many secrets and lost histories long forgotten since the calamity. Many individual sacrifices. The weaves of fate are a fickle thing. Is it fate if you take a boulder or a rock and you push it down a hill? Was that fate because you pushed it? Or was it always supposed to roll? Or does it not roll until you push it?
Go ahead. It depends on how you look at it on it. I mean, I sort of looks around and he's like, I follow the Moonweaver, and I think it's sort of fate that we're here because you're right there weaving the moon. So I think something around the line here that's necessary that you are also part of our fated group here, just to maybe give us some information, or at least a pathway to the next point.
Like that rock pushed down the hill. Every single pebble it runs over and displaces and tramples. Is that also the fate now?
Maybe on that side of it. I mean, rock can't stop itself. I had to push it, or someone had to push it.
It always begins with the push, yes. But we are free to make our own choices. Isn't that right? And what was your name again? And she gestures towards the satyr.
Yeah, I'm like, I think Saren's been like eyeballing her the entire time she's been talking about this specific thing. He's looking at her and. Do you, Woody? You can call me Saeryn.
And Saeryn is what I will call you. And she gives that like nice, respectful nod.
She was gonna incite the hell out of me, so.
All right. And she says, and she looks at you. She says, so you guys like told her all about the other party, the amulet. Did you tell them about like the cave and the baby and everything? And
I'm about to Morgan on how much, because I think what we sort of went like fast forwarding through storytelling there. Would Morgan have said anything about the Ruiz born baby that we saved?
Yeah, I would have given like all of the major details, but anything like personal or private is probably what I would have left out.
gotcha. So overview. And she
Just-
says,
yeah.
okay. So she says this other team, the amulet, and these gods in this story. It is hard to pierce the veil of truth sometime. But perhaps I know a way that can help find answers. Now I could do you a favor. One I could do for free. The second will come at a cost. So I ask you, would you like to find your friend? Or would you like to know more about that amulet? I can do both, but and she looks at Morgan and she says, a favor for a favor, of course.
Morgan would turn to her with a wicked smile. But of course, it is pertinent to the craft to receive payment for one's services. Could not expect anything to be done for free.
Of course.
Let me just confer with my comrades for just a moment. I would then turn to Saeryn and Aljin and say, I think that we should take her up on her offer. To be honest, I'd be more than happy to pay her any price that she names, if it means both the finding of Ludo and more information on the amulet. What do you think?
I mean, I think I would like to know more about the amulet. I mean, she said, price and payment. It sent a little bit of that shiver that goes up your spine and it makes your butthole clench a little bit. And as long as that doesn't include giving her my soul, I think that's fine. I sort of have the feeling of maybe she feeds her plants people. I don't know why I have that feeling. I just kind of do.
Well,
Going to another creepy witch's house. It's like,
This is all I'm doing now, is going to creepy witches' houses.
if yeah, you are getting quite the experience and just go to witch's house.
No shortage of them in the Jorhaus wastelands. Truly.
Well, I would be happy if we could even call this a debt for myself, even if it's not like for everyone involved. I would definitely put my reputation and honor on the line for this payment, if that helps persuade you at all.
I mean, that's fine. How about you take this payment and I'll pick up rooms for a while? I think that's a pretty fair trade. As he sort of backs away a little bit, still very concerned.
I'm completely broke.
I'll smile towards Aljin and say, something tells me that she's not quite interested in gold.
Yeah, I kind of had that feeling too. And that's the scariest part.
shouldn't be. There's lots of things that are less interested in gold than they are in things that would terrify the brains at you.
All right. Well, I think I'll do it then. I'll return to speaking with Zoya and saying, Zoya, I would like to take you up on your offer. If you would name your price.
Yes. It is something simple. We can talk after I give you the one for your friend, of course. Like I said, one is for a friend. And she pulls out, she sets down the tapestry, the little blanket that she's been weaving, comes and walks back up to the cauldron, and out of her pocket pulls out like some, little substance, powder that she sprinkles between her fingers over the cauldron, kind of salt bathes it a little bit. And then begins to stir it with her long silver spoon that she pulls out from the side of it. And then as she pulls that away, the surface becomes glossy and smooth like a window pane of glass, and then like a mirror reflecting back. And then as it continues to swirl and mesh together, it forms into the image, and the first thing that you see is a large obelisk laying over crumbled across the city. Rubbles of bricks and buildings and ruin underneath it. But it is a sight that you all seen when you first walked into the city. And then it zooms in that window pane onto Ludo standing there wearing his polished armor at the base of where this obelisk has fallen over. And he's standing at it, and on the obelisk is all of these infernal runes that are glowing red, and just like this like etchings and graffiti. Like there seems to be no action or chaos happening. Like this is something that maybe happened earlier in the evening. Now he's just like looking at whatever aftermath is there. Standing next to him is, I don't know how many you guys would have ever seen before. It's like it's a cross between, it's a half orc, half elf. So it has like the pale gray skin, like the color of sage, the sharp angular features and cheekbones and the pointed ears of an elf, but like the large stout muscular frame of an orc still, standing pretty much at the same height as Ludo. This figure standing next to them, wearing like these long flowing robes, but you see just Ludo standing there at the base next to this figure, and they seem to be in some sort of conversation and just like inspecting, looking at this obelisk base. And she's goes and Nana Zoya goes and swirls, stirs the pot again, and then that image dissipates, and she looks up and she says, well, there it is, your friend. An easy scry.
Well, quite interesting. Thank you. Well, it seems that we can find him.
It seems maybe he has found a friend here in the city. But you also want to know about that amulet and everything else?
I will incur the debt for information on the amulet, yes.
At a friend's discount, of course.
Of course.
And I would
Should you
never
need any-
ask you a debt without you knowing, so here is the deal. And she reaches into her robes and pulls out like this small like little vial of like it's like smaller than what would be like a health potion. It's a very slim cylindrical with a cork top, and then it's like a pinkish, not quite purple, it's still pretty bright hue and color, pretty opaque and pretty cloudy and dense. And she just sits there and shakes it around. She says, there is a a person that I would require to take a sip of this.
And who might that be?
It is no one of any importance. It is let's see, a young suitor, the courier in the town. His name is Abbott. Someone has asked me to she has caught the eye of many eligible would-be ladies, but this one wants to secure her chances, find a new chance at fate for herself. She has asked for a deal. If I can make this happen, then it is all the better.
You said his name was Abbott?
Yes, just a young gentleman in town. A young drow. He works for the guard and helps deliver. He has short, cropped hair.
That's all the information I need. I will take this vial, and I will do this to the best of my abilities.
Yes, he, all you need to do is have him drink it, and then the young lady Sheila, she will get her chance at a better life, maybe.
Does that name sound familiar to anyone else here?
The name, Abbott or Sheila?
Sheila is the one I was specifically referencing.
No one, yeah, that doesn't sound too familiar.
Okay. I could have sworn there was another Sheila at some point.
Oh, there actually might have been.
Sounds like it's not the same one. People could have the same
People
name.
have the same name.
Yeah.
It's a big world.
Actually, Morgan, you think actually you might recall from earlier that young drow that you were having drinks with, the like short buzz cut one. You think you actually might remember him mentioning his name was Abbott at one point when he introduced.
I think I know this young lad. Anyway, I think it'll be quite easy to get him to drink.
Yes. Of course, but I trust that you will do that favor, and I will uphold my end of the bargain.
Without fail, Zoya, without fail.
Come along, gather for this ritual. And instead of we're at the cauldron where she did like the scrying, she comes back over to the that tapestry that she had been weaving, and she goes and unfurls it out, and you see what looked like that like moon at the center is now you see it's like the jewel. If like the jewel of that amulet was replaced like at the center with a red moon, that kind of looks like what she has been weaving this whole time. And she goes and grabs a handful of the loose red threads and bundles them up together in like a small knot and takes those silver shears out again. I'm just gonna get that wrong every time, aren't I? She takes those shears out and goes and clips them in real fast, and she says, "Let us trace the threads and see what lore these legends hold." And with that, you all feel an instant wash over you, just a massive blast of like arcane, divine, fey, shadow energy. Boom! And your eyes roll in back of your head, and you all drop to the ground and pass out. And we will continue this when we come back from a break.
Oh, awesome.
Hell yeah.
Here, poison this person. I'm gonna knock you guys out.
you know, you gotta set the scene. You gotta
Yeah.
lean into the aesthetic, you know. All right, let's get the BRB music. There it is.
All
All
right.
right. We'll BRB. Quick 5. All right, I am back. But
Same.
I am going to mute again 1 quick second. Do that slightly extended. Just make sure my noises don't get caught on microphone. Bubbly action. Alrighty.
I'm back.
Ooh wee. I make sure I get all my beers set aside.
Mm-hmm.
I double loaded up on this one. Well, this is a fairly early break, but got, make sure we got ready. Boop, boop, bow. I will say it's been a lot of creepy old ladies.
It really has. It really has. That's okay. I mean, can all be? I'm probably the sunniest, bubbliest character in the whole campaign. It's like, you went to doom and gloom area. So the whole time he's gonna be creeped out and scared, and especially when it comes to he's getting used to Morgen though. It's like Morgen's normal for him now.
That is
You asked us to
amazing.
recap, and half of my brain went, crap, I don't know. Like, I'm looking back through my notes. I'm like, man, I don't remember. I'm trying to look through my notes. Think, why are we here? I'm focused so much on the other party, like getting with the other party, that I completely forgot the main actual reason we came here. So I'm glad Morgen remembered.
It's a lot. This gets tossed, it's just like, okay,
Yeah,
and this, and this,
lots
and
of
this, and
tossed
this.
to it. Yeah. I don't know. We're saving the world from monsters, I think, and they go crazy sometimes. I can't actually recall why we started this.
All right.
We were bored. We just need something to do.
Just like, I don't
That's why we're
know.
here. I mean, I don't know.
IDK following my BFF Ludo.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, kind of.
Yeah, we'll go with that one. Actually, yeah, we'll do that one. Okay. Just making sure I got my music set up. No. We'll keep it nice and casual until... is everyone back? So we still waiting on anyone else? I think maybe Facemess is still rallying a cat. How is everyone feeling? How? Nice little intro.
Yeah, nice, fun, lighthearted intro. I'm sorry, I was just while we're waiting for people scrolling through Facebook, and one of the hobby stores I go to just popped up there's a 5E compatible Doctor Who RPG, and it got me going for a second. I was like, holy crap. Sorry. Things I do while in break.
Mm-hmm.
Don't actually plan for anything.
Fuck it.
Is Morgen back?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, I think might just be Matt for a second, because kitties take priority for sure. So I just had to do the peek behind me, like make sure my cat's on my bed. Okay. Although I'm opening up some chips, you might come running. See, it's definitely maybe just try and wait a minute or two, try and get everyone in the vision, but see what happened. I will say, while we're here, how is, in that moment as this ritual is happening, how does Morgen feel about, the deal and the bargain and, going, whatever's happening?
She definitely, it's about what she expected it to be. It's a little more, at least on the surface, innocent than what she was expecting. But, a deal is a deal, and a favor for a favor. So she's willing to do that.
Hell yeah, no, that makes sense. You said that professional courtesy, and then whatever introduction, from your brother that had been made all those however many years ago.
Yeah, seeing that she knows my brother as well, she's definitely had been introduced to me over 100 years ago.
Yeah, so long time of correspondence, especially just working whatever trades. Every town needs a witch doctor of sorts, and then each one also then has their own particular specialties that, they keep close to the chest. Let's see, let me send the message. Pretty sure he's still rallying cats.
You said Morgen's brother. Half me went, did we know that? Did we start rifling through notes? Did we know Morgen had a brother?
Once or twice.
I knew that. I don't know if I knew that. I must have never wrote that down.
I believe
I found one cat.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, definitely didn't want to, make it any rush or anything. It's well, sure, because I'm I hope the kitties are okay.
Well, it was I was getting the food out for the one cat that I was pretty sure would come around, and then I heard meowing from the different cat, and so I was like, okay, well, let's hunt this down. And yeah, there's a basement that normally the cats don't have access to. I guess she found a way in.
Ah.
So, got her out of there. Now she's eating, but I still don't know where the other older cat is.
The first time the brother was mentioned was in the Zone of Truth spell. That was her fun fact.
That's your fun fact for the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's your fun fact for the day. I'm terrible at keeping notes.
And then I think there was one flashback scene of Morgen in the Shadowfell.
Yeah, I'm not privy to that. Aaron is. Al's not.
All right. Well, if everyone is back, the ritual begins. You all feel that magic of a legend lore spell wash over you. As your eyes close, all you feel and see is the darkness. And then it's a burst of small vermilion light in the distance. It zooms into focus, the red subsides, and then you see a cavern with crystals, purple quartz in color. A couple of them have like red veins running through them. And sitting at the center, it's like a crater of an impact. Or maybe it was like at the center of this spot, this altar sits there, and then these crystals grew out around it in like central rings, like sharp, jagged points. There's a light coming from this pedestal. And then it zooms, pans in again, and then the light around the pedestal fades as a spectral figure in the form of a male human rises up from the amulet. He is dressed in leather armor, tattered red cape, and he wears a shield. His face is framed by curly brown hair and bears a melancholic expression. His eyes dart looking around, and he make eye contact with all of you, each in turn. And he opens his mouth and he pleads, "I am imprisoned. Please help me." Suddenly, the ground vanishes beneath his and your feet as you all fall tumbling through a vortex of this golden light. You fall deeper and deeper and deeper, and it suddenly stops. The golden light subsides, and you find yourself suspended in pitch black expanse. You feel water buoying around you. The vermilion light appears again off in the distance, illuminating this warrior who is shackled now to the ground by these disgusting strands of this fleshy crimson substance. He raises his gaze to the heavens, and he cries out, sobbing, choking, "Moonweaver, I beg you, guide those with the power to save me to the site where I first prayed to you." And he looks around, and his eyes settle, and he says, "Oh gods, they're there. My name is Elixion. I am lost in the darkness. Long ago, in the heart of the Umbra Gates, I prayed to the Changebringer in the middle of a temple of Evo. Take my jewel there, and please," and he you feel the consciousness rip away from you as if that water, the pressure of it begins to crush and press the life out of you. And this person, Elixion, his voice is the last thing you hear before you pass out in this vision. "Save me, please." Phew. A quick little flash of a moment, and then you see the vision pan to once more, and it's this young man. His brown hair curls plastered to his brow by sweat. He's sinking to his knees in a garden. His eyes betray a lack of sleep, and despite the softness of his features, he looks like he has experienced more pain than any one person should bear. "They're counting on me," he whispers. "They need me. But I'm exhausted and frightened. What do I do? Please, someone tell me, what do I do?" The moons both race across the sky, soon replaced by an angry red sun that rises before a fateful battle. There's 5 silhouettes that approach the temple, these umbra gates that betray your eyes off in the distance. One of these figures of the 4 come up to the kneeling figure, the one with the curly brown hair who's been pleading for help. They clap him on the back. Their voices are muffled, as if coming out through water, but you see them all embrace, standing strong, before the tides of a march of demons coming forth from those gates. And then you all snap back to awake. You're all laying on the ground. Feel maybe only like a moment or two has passed, and you see Zoya is like looking, like peering over the cauldron, like worried. She's like holding that blanket in her hand. She's just like, "What did you see?"
Have we were told a story by the other party? Does the name? Because I don't
Hear me type it.
Does the name Elixian? Is it Elixian?
Yeah, I think the rivals might have told you that name before. I think they kind of showed you like an image of an illusion of an image of that scene that they said that they saw that when they grabbed that amulet.
It was similar to being trapped and pleading. Mm-hmm. Correct. I remember that.
Yeah.
Just without looking at my notes.
Yeah, and with that also in your mind's eye, you see that figure with the curly hair and all these visions. Around his neck, he was wearing that amulet in those 2 different scenes. There was a difference between them, as if it had slightly changed at one point. And that scene, yeah.
They seem like the same person?
Yes. Some figure maybe at some various points. Maybe previous owner of whatever this item is. Also, if there's any clarifications you guys need about what I, just read a lot of paragraphs to you, so.
Yeah, no. I was happy I got Elixian's name, but I misspelled. I put an I instead of the Y. But besides that, when you're playing D&D, right? And they say a name and you can almost spell it right. Mm-hmm. I think I would just be like, you saw a man trapped in what appeared to be almost like a crystal, but he told us to go to the Umbra Gates and told us to take something to the Temple of Evo.
Evil, like a Temple of Evil. Yeah, sorry.
Temple of Evil. I thought it was Evo. I was like, oh, that's a cool name.
Yeah,
Evo Shandor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So prayer site of Elvandra in the middle of a temple of evil. What you take to mean the Betrayer's Rise.
Yeah, Betrayer's Rise. Was he trapped? He's trapped in, what do you call an orb, or is it a crystal?
It was hard to say. It's like wherever he's trapped, it seems like there's like, it's like that experience when you guys were in that that grotto underwater when you first found that amulet, like where you first found the spear. Mm-hmm. And it was at that point when like the rival team, you guys left, they said they went through whatever a passage had been opened up or that light been spilling forth. They said they had saw that scene of like the crystal, the altar. When they grabbed the amulet, they saw that vision basically. And this person, whoever it is, pleading for help. And then Zoya, she also now speaks up. She says that amulet is a vestige of divergence. My spell, it has the power of 3 gods, which is, I am old, I have been around for a while, I've never heard of anything like that. Who is this figure? Why have we never heard of him? A champion wielding the power of 3 gods. And she says he mentioned the Moonweaver. He mentioned the Changebringer. And there is still magic of another on there that they cannot detect. Which I think, Saeryn, when you had done that identify spell before, you had, I think, detected a similar nature to that jewel. She's, and so on Zoya, she looks at you and she says, the Umbra Gates, the temple, and she gestures there, it was the last stronghold of the betrayer gods here in the wastelands at the end of the war. Whatever battles were fought, they would have been fought here at their thickest. There are many secrets buried beneath in there. They used to, those old fools who stand guard with their little toys, they used to delve into it, extracting whatever materials and secrets they could find. She spits at the ground. She says, there are some fates and secrets that are better left forgotten. But at what expense? Who is left forgotten? Gia looks at you all expectantly.
I mean, that should look pretty bad.
It seems a lot more important than I initially anticipated.
Yeah.
Suddenly realizing I'm might be in a little over my head here. Now it's starting to come around to me that I signed up with basically 3 big damn heroes. Goody.
For one who tends to resist the pull of fate, you found yourself mired in it.
What can I say? I'm a professional good luck charm. I guess it was only a matter of time.
Sometimes you make your own luck. Just a little bit of a tipping of the scale.
Literally all the time.
So, this person, he needs help. And are you the ones to serve him?
Well, that's why we've come. We wouldn't have made it all this way to go to the Betrayer's Rise if we didn't think that we might be the ones to help.
And yet I notice no jewels around your neck. You say it is wielded by someone else?
Yes, it's in the possession of that rival party that we've had. The one that originally we met up with at the Emerald Grotto, or at the festival in Jagal.
Yes. And, do you trust them to get the job done?
Actually, I've kind of had my doubts as of late. Our last meeting was not on exactly good terms, and I think that at least one of them is slowly becoming corrupt. And I fear that it's infecting all of them.
Why do you think that?
The young cleric, he goes by the name of Dermot, acquired what I assume to be an accursed weapon. I think it whispers to him, and ever since he's acquired it, his demeanor's changed, and not for the better.
A cursed weapon would certainly do that, yes.
Don't forget that battle rage we saw out of Ayo, when we were fighting in the caves at one time. Looked like she just wouldn't stop beating a dead corpse.
Oh, a battle rage?
Yeah, which I guess would be expected sometimes, but not out of a... What the heck was she? Some kind of sea elf? That's not even
yeah.
like his. Not I had barely an understanding of whatever kind of lineage she had.
Yeah. So basically, you guys.
Mix.
Yeah. She seems like it's like orcish. Like she has like the tusks and stuff of the orc and like features, but it's like a blue genasi skin type. Yeah, it was very weird and uncertain about her origins. There was a story that they had mentioned at one point of her being born from a wish or something like that. It was, just like in a passing moment. But yeah, it is. She does have like some sort of like orcish lineage. It seems, at least.
Orcish lineage and some kind of like blue, like Aljin kind of colored skin. Is part of what I was assuming.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, you give her that. She's like, an orcish fury, you say. The history of Grumsh is pretty heavy here in this land particularly. Have you ever heard of how orcs came to be? It was said when he was fighting with the Archart Grumsh, the orc, Lord of King of Fury. Say yes, Saeryn. Anyone who wants to roll a religion?
See if I can. I might not even be. Nah. I don't know enough about religion.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so Morgen and Saeryn, you would both be kind of familiar with the story. It's said the orcs were born from Grumsh when his blood spilled out after a wound from the Archart, the god of elves and magic. The blood of Grumsh spilled on the elves, and it cursed and tainted them and transformed them into the orcish bloodlust fury that ruled their type for much of the calamity until the gods were sealed behind the defined gate. And it says Grumsh, he is not one to let a vengeance lie unanswered. So, what are your next steps? What do you do now? You try and get into the rise?
Might be better if we knew exactly where the other party was, maybe where they were headed. Though I bet they headed to the rise as well.
The only question is, do we wish to confront them before there, or while we're in there?
Ugh.
Almost be like, almost want to maybe follow them in, but I don't know. First step is poisoning some guy named Abbott, I think, to help you out, and then after that, I think maybe meet up with our friend and try to figure out what to do next.
Poison a guy. Get Ludo.
Who says anything about poison? He takes a drink, he falls in love with a pretty girl. What's wrong with that?
You said exactly what I said, except with more words.
Yeah.
Well, this is not a romantic group, you have to understand it.
You've never had to sit before and fallen in lust with someone? What is wrong with that?
I mean, nothing really, but I
I mean, if you're gonna push that rock, we'll just, we don't want to be the pebbles in the way of it. We'll just sort of,
roll it on down the hill.
That gets a good solid chuckle from Saeryn right there.
No, she laughs.
You're gonna push that rock.
She chuckles. She says, "Sometimes when the boulders roll downhill, all we can do is jump out of the way. Not get crushed underneath."
Anyway, yeah, so we poisoned this guy a bit. I'm just looking her right in the eyes and I'm smiling. We're gonna poison this a bit.
She like shrugs and reaches with her like silver spoon and just like pulls out of her cauldron and just takes like a big sip of it. Full eye contact, never breaks from you.
Nice. We get Ludo back in the gang, and then I think locating the other party first before they get in the rise is probably a good idea. And then I said we follow them in. They not to put it too lightly, but they have much more of a fighting presence than we necessarily do.
I will say the Umbra gates, for a while they have been closed to any delves. A while back, a bunch of fools, the artificers in their mansions, stumbled across reopened an abyssal rift. As you know, it happens when you put your hand in the fire, you get burned, yes? The task hand was not allowing delves into for a while, but an old lady hears things. I hear the Bazzoxan came to town. A couple of them went in, have not yet returned. I hear that other group going in, eventually. But if you try to follow them in, the abyss, it warps, and the prime material plane is malleable. Yes, it can be pushed and moved around without being broken. So, no two trips into the rise have ever been shotted the same.
That's because of this abyssal rift, you're saying?
The nature of the influence of the void and the abyss, it changes the nature of the insides. They have, in the past, tried to chart out room by room, but then the next party goes in, they're in a completely different chamber. Sometimes they intersect back up, sometimes not.
Well, in that case, it doesn't sound like we're actually going to be able to follow them in.
I mean,
with them.
If you wanted any more help in bending of luck or fate into running into them, maybe I could help. And you see like a little wicked smile on her face again. she makes eye contact with Morgen.
I think we can probably get in. We have a little bit of dealings with the task hand. Maybe if they need help trying to locate people from the soul, might be behoove us just to maybe have a conversation with him. We ran into him earlier, the task hand earlier, and I think at least we have a good standing with him right now. I think we don't need any more like for now any more dealings. I think that's okay.
That's
Except Morgen, very, very like, right? Sort of making sure Morgan's okay with that statement.
Yes, I think that we can handle this part on our own. Zoya, you've done enough for us tonight. I thank you. I will get your task done. Don't you worry.
I have already considered it done. And you see she like sits there and she's already been back at her weaving, crocheting, and she pulls out that like another thread with her silver shears. I said it right this time. And like quick snip action, and then put that back in the fold, and then goes back to knitting at another spot.
Just one more question, actually.
Oh.
Has anyone seen the abyssal rift? Like the actual tear?
Well, it has been a while since the I think the last party that went in did not return. That was why they stopped. The demons, they come out every now and then. They bleed out and, come through the gates. There is a main gate. You get through it, and then that's where the rise begins. But it is a large chasm, a bridge built of black stone that walks up to the other gates. Those walls have never been opened in the history of this city. Any expeditions went down in somewhere else. They do not say where anymore, lest any fools tempt chance. But I hear there is another way in, or there used to be. So perhaps that's where the rift is.
Maybe we'll take a look at that if we get a chance.
Yeah.
But
The task hand, he is a monolith standing in front of a tidal wave. He won't move, but everything else will move around him. And eventually, he might erode away too.
yeah, that's not exactly how wave breakers are supposed to work. But guess if we stand right behind him. Anyway, thank you for your hips, will you?
Oh, yes. Anytime, my dear babushka. And she comes up to give Morgen a nice little hug. And comes to give both of you a hug as well. She smells thick. It's like, there's like an anise, almost like potpourri, black licorice, all of that mixed in. Maybe like a hint of sherry as well. And like, her fingers, like you see as she comes, like her limbs are long, like almost as long as that like bugbear from earlier. And as she goes and hugs you, like her frame is not that big. Like it's a small, scrawny build, which surprises you even more with how long the limbs are as she comes and envelops you in that hug. But there's like a frightening strength to the grip. The skin feels like sandpaper.
Arms are down. It's like, no.
Yeah. She does the full like Nana like pinches your cheek, Aljin. She's just like, oh, you are so cute and young and the world. Do not let it break you.
I'm trying not to.
Like the storms of the ocean, you move with the wave. You don't swim against it.
Sometimes you know how to ride the waves as they come in.
Yeah, but sometimes the only way is to dive straight through. Remember that.
I will.
And you, my furry new friend. As she goes and like hugs you, Saeryn, you see she goes and like goes to like slip you a couple like sugar cubes. She's
I'll allow it.
I feel like you like some sweets.
How could you tell?
We all have a sweet tooth. And sometimes bending of luck is the sweetest taste of all, yes. She gives you like a little wink.
Wink back.
Mm-hmm. All right, go now. I am tired. I deserve my rest.
Thank you, Zoya.
Yeah.
And yes, you do deserve your rest. Good
Yeah.
night.
And I will say, if you see your brother, tell him hello, but maybe you don't want to see him anytime soon. And she just gives you another long look.
Give her like a slight nod, kind of make my way.
All right, and you all make your way away from the creepy hag hut. Like, I imagine it's like maybe Aljin has that like kind of like hasten, quicken step, just like, okay, let's go.
Yep. After he got hugged, he just started walking out. Looks behind him, like, nope, just not following. They'll find me. They'll find me. Somewhere down the line. He gets far enough away, though, he will dip back into he'll, like, start walking into the water just a little bit more before he leaves, because he doesn't know when he's going to see this again. Like a natural spring.
Yeah, you give yourself
Splash around a little bit.
nice quick well wash. Hell yeah. What do you all want to do from there? What's the next moves for the team? Let you all, have your quick little chats, walk and talk, figure out whatever you're doing. You still, like, it's pretty late, but, like, once again, it's that quote-unquote nightlife. There's just, like, the natural schedule of things is there's still people out and about, still a few random shops, probably a few like watering holes and, places to get some food or a drink or, the temples or whatever various points for worship, mostly like the Luxon, probably still comings and goings. Let me actually bring you back to the map. Not that one. This one.
That.
5 more gibbering monsters appear. Roll initiative. We're doing another poem.
Back to the map. Roll initiative.
5 demons appear. Mouse that were gibbering.
Oh no, not again.
Yep.
So I just went to that weird accent you just threw on. Morgan, you said you might have known or met earlier today that abbot we need to. I think should we start the night off or finish the night off? I don't know. With doing this favor for Zoya, just so that's done. I mean,
Why, yes, I think it would be best to just get it out of the way. That way we can kind of leave it and forget.
yeah, I don't want to, meet up with Ludo accidentally over at the ruins that he's at, and then 5 days later we forgot to poison this dude, and you forfeited your soul to another head or something. I'm just spitballing like possibilities. I don't know if that's truly the case, but yeah, I think just get that out of the way.
Morgan, go ahead and make a just quick little straight wisdom check for me.
Natural 20.
Yep.
24.
All right. Yeah. Aljin says that, like, something about, like, your soul being forfeit to a hag. And you're like, that's... The concept of your brain, like, that's silly. And then it's like... I don't know. No, not want to put thoughts in your head, but I think it is maybe, like... You go to discount that idea, and you're like, well, wait a minute. You do know of various types of hags. There are a type of hag, there's night hags that deal in dreams and nightmares. There's green hags that are more like herbal, swampy, druidic base, that type of stuff. Pure hags that realm in like cold Arctic nature. But then from your brother, you remember, because he kind of let slip one time that, like, he had done tutelage under a fate hag before. and you remember that, and you're like, oh. With that nat 20, yeah, that is full realization.
Yes, it's best not to cross her. Not only does she have her own sort of powers, but the same it's in the same realm as my brother's too. And while mine are fairly adjacent to his, it's not I have no real way of combating it. Anyway, who wants to slip them the drink? Shall it be me, or would one of you care to take it?
I don't. Probably not me. I'm not the best at, like, doing stuff like that. I can distract. I can definitely do that. Very good at talk people up, maybe. But
Hell yeah.
Got an idea, but I'm not sure. Let me check a couple things. And he opens his book and starts looking through some stuff.
Yeah, wizard tome open, scrolling through. I'll say easy walk and talk. You guys head back to where you last saw this person, back at the ready room. And as you walk in through the door, if you guys need to do anything before that, let me know. You don't need to jump right to that moment, but when you do get that, the scene would basically be you see most of the people, like a lot less in the bar, but that gentleman is still sitting there, and he's sitting there at the bar next to that that bugbear that was chatting up Aljin earlier.
Oh boy!
before we walk in, thinking that earlier that we might, like, as we're walking through, we might come up against this guy again. I'm going to cast disguise self real fast. Just gonna use that so it marks it off for myself. And I'm
Amazing.
Going to change, yeah. Basically, different, darker looking clothes because I can change my clothing. Darker looking clothing. Human face. Like a big bushy red beard.
It's like a 4 foot tall human. You're like 5 foot. Like, yeah, you're 5.
Yeah, he's 5 foot tall because I can go foot short. I can go a foot taller or shorter.
Well, appearance wise, but like
appearance wise.
yeah. So
a little taller.
Are you making a disguised self that's taller than what you are?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
So about a foot taller than I am right now. Darker looking clothes. Like markings are like no actual markings except for, like I said, big bushy red beard, green eyes. Human, and that's cloak down, like a red beard, brownish hair with some gray streaks in it.
Beautiful.
As I describe myself.
Nice.
Yeah, so you guys just see Aljin's form just grow a foot and get those appearances as he sits there and casts those spells at the moment before.
Yep, right before we go in. Making sure no one's looking. I'm like looking around. I mean,
and you find your way back into the inn.
Yeah. One other thing, Morgen.
Yes?
Can I take a look at that vial real quick?
Yes, of course.
And I'm going to take the vial from her, and with one hand looking at the vial, I'm going to use my other hand to pull down my goggles of object reading, because they still have a charge today.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to look at this vial, and I'm going to identify it so that I can learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, and how many charges it has, if any. The most important thing I'm interested in is whether or not whatever spell is in here, or whatever it's going to do, what the DC, like how difficult it would be for someone who imbibes it to fight off the effect.
Awesome. Yeah, so you begin looking at this little vial, and it's, now that you're looking and then closely examining it, it's like more of that like pink, almost like rose hued, like an effervescent liquid, and it's now you're inspecting it closer with that lens on. These the bubbles that sprout up around it almost are like little like heart shaped, and as you begin inspecting it, you determine that it is essentially basically a filter of love, but it, instead of being a limited general use that like has a time limit of when that person needs to see a target to become charmed and fall in love with that person, that only lasts a duration. You see, this is like, there are hyper specific ingredients that went into the making of this, so this is meant for one specific person to drink, and then that person they fall in love with, it's like they don't, like, it's just gonna happen, and it is a forever effect.
Awesome, because I was like, oh man, if he makes it past the DC, we're screwed. So that's good to know.
Yeah. But yeah, you see basically because of the nature of its custom specific instructions, which looking at it, so Saeryn has those moments, like, you're looking at, like, that same as that detect magic weave that you've done. Like, you're looking at, like, the different threads of the magic and enchantments that go into making this. And you see it's, like, a little tiny red thread that's, like, woven around. Like, that's, like, a weave of magic, like a thread that binds these two different parts together that at the heart of this thing. And, like, you're like, this is some old magic.
I was right. This is poison. But, very specific.
By technical definition, yes. Which is the best technical to be.
Well, it's changing someone's thoughts. It's a poison.
I don't think we're going to have too much trouble getting this in the guy's drink. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I suppose, do you think we should do it discreetly or charm our way into this? Finian, would you be up to the task of convincing him that this is something that it's not?
Yeah, I think I can do that. Let me just get into a different character sort of here. He stands a little taller, even though he's already taller up by appearance. And he's like, I think we can make something work a little bit. It's just the bar's atmosphere when we left was it like ruckus? I can't remember if it was like people were having a good time or was like quiet.
Yeah. So it's like, there was the bard playing when you were there earlier. Seems that they've left by this point. But there's still like, a good amount of people milling about, enjoying the scene. So this is like an approximation. There's actually like, it's like a lift that rises up by rope, like a platform instead of the stairs that get you up and down here. But it's the best I could do, y'all. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But like, yeah, like it's the mood in this city, it's a drab and shitty. Like the poem said, but people here are having. It's like, hey, everything around me is bad, so let me have this moment of good times. Is basically like the vibe you get from these people.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right, I think we can do something. I think we can do something about that. Let's just get in there and try, I guess. The CD's in there first. I guess that's the first deal. Is he still there? He might not be there.
Mm-hmm.
Before we head in, here, take this, and I will pull a feather from the dress and bless him with an enhance ability. Choosing, was it Eagle's Splendor?
Yeah. I mean, we can call it Raven Splendor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Flavored. And that is strength. We gotta look at that now.
You should have advantage on charisma check.
Excellent. I was about to do something to do the same thing to that one person, but that makes it easier where I don't have to.
Yes, this is an hour concentration.
Yeah, so you can do this before you guys all walk in. You're like sitting, like you like kind of do that, like walk past the peek in, and you still see that scene. Like you glance up to the top, which actually I didn't get to show you guys this yet. I only showed Ray this. I forgot. Here is what the bar looks like.
Hot diggity.
So Ludo is gone. Ignore him.
There's Ludo. Found him.
So this is like, if it makes sense, this is like the top is the second floor, which would be like right here on the bottom part of the map. So you walk in through the front. Here's like where the base is, the front desk, rooms in the back, the first floor, and then you take that lift right there, and that brings you to here at this top part. And this is the bar.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm like, this is so much better. I have a map for this. Why haven't I been using this? And you see, like, all these various people hanging around. So here is that Drow is, like, sitting. Actually, he's going to be at the bar here. And let me get a bugbear token.
Oh, secondary questions about the file of the elixir of passion and whatever.
Yeah.
Do I get a sense of what would happen if someone other than the intended target were to ingest it?
That's a great question. Give an Arcana roll.
Okay, 1 second. Hold on, it's telling me I have advantage on this for some reason. I want to double check why.
Morgan, what was the name of the female that that requested this elixir to Abbott or DM? I guess if that's the question. I have Abbott's name.
The lady
Sheila.
is the female is Sheila. That's wants him to drink it. Yeah. Whoa, my thing just freed me. Oh, it ends from the goggles.
Ends from the goggles.
Interesting.
The goggles not only have the identify charge, but also
Advantage on
your intelligence arcana check measures your. Oh no, that's different. Wish I had a mouse. While wearing the goggles, you have advantage on intelligence arcana checks made to reveal information about a creature or object you can see.
Beautiful. Hell yeah. So 25, we'll take that. Your best approximation, even with the 25, would be like it would get weird. Because it would still have some effect. It would probably get into more like wild magic territory at that point of like the exact like strength, duration, and side effects that might get into happening, because since it is very specific components that are tying the enchantment together, but it is still a charm spell that has like a specific target, So yeah, you're looking at that and you're like, oh, that is something I do not want to even try and unravel.
Got it. And on the second question is, how much of the vial is an effective dose? Does it have to be the whole thing?
Basically, yeah, seems like it is measured out to a specific, the concentration that is brewed at seems to be like, all right, this seems to be a dose, basically. Because with that 25 full, you think, I will say, with that 25, you could probably have a drop or two spilled and it still be mostly effective. And then, you'd have a small little bit of a component of something to work with if you, desired anything else with that.
Oh god, I have so many strange ideas that involve the shape water spell at this point.
That's
water. I can get you water.
I would say only because so you guys are to paint the scene, because you guys didn't enter the bar yet, right?
No, I would say we're sort of making plans outside. I think if everybody.
Yeah, so you guys are I'll say you're down here around the corner after scouting. You guys have probably done a couple walk-bys at this point, trying not to stand and mill about, but then letting Saeryn take a moment to sit there and inspect this underneath the torchlight with his the goggles on his eyes, he mentioned before, make his eyes just big and buggy, that just comedic, cartoonish, full frame pupil look, and he looks really silly, just he's just pure, this vial is so close to his face with these goggles right up on it.
Nice, yeah. I've got a couple ideas, but I probably am going to need help to pull any of them off.
I mean, I can get his attention away from his cup easily. I think we'll find out. I think I can. I can make a talk. I can make a chat. So if we find him, Morgan will probably have to point him out to us. If she can, and then I think we can sort of do the whole 1-2 punch here with me running some
some interference for you, I think, would be the best bet. What do you think, Morgan? What's your ideas? You have any ideas?
Well, I can always point him out and even get him into conversation. If he doesn't have a drink, I can always offer it to him. We were drinking together earlier this evening, and I don't see why he would not. After that, I mean, we could kind of pass off either conversation to you, or
I think
even
have you make
what
the
you could-
introductions. I think would be the best, at least to
Yes.
me.
You can also, well, if worst comes to worst, if we can't slip it in his drink, perhaps sell it to him. Tell him it's something that it's not. Maybe something that makes him run faster, or, a potion that makes him stronger.
That's true. I think we can run that. Maybe run it as a like, what do you want to do with your life? Because he's a guard. He might not want to be a guard his whole life. Maybe we can run it through like, hey, what's maybe in conversation. Maybe run it like that. If he wants to do something, then we'll be like, well, I got my man here who is a keen man with potions, and pull in Saeryn for that. I think we can figure something out.
I do look a bit like a potion seller.
You do look like a potion seller. All the times you move and it jingles and clanks.
Yeah, not quite accoutrement of stuff I've got on me, I'll tell you that.
I feel good. I think we got this. Knowing farewell that all the planning we could possibly do can just go to hell in a handbasket real fast.
I love all of this.
Yeah. I say let's get in there. Let's make a lap. At this point, if we're waiting for people to like make spells, I probably wouldn't have cast the disguise self until we're about to go in because it's only an hour. I'm sure same thing with the invincibility. The whole thing of
I say it's probably only been about like 10 minutes since all that
Okay.
began, and it's like been a couple walk arounds because
Okay.
it was like, yeah, as you walked up, you guys cast, you've been scoping, checking out, talking, making the plans, but maybe like 2 walk back and forths, and then Saeryn, because you're casting the spell, you're not doing the ritual or anything, right? When you do like the identify, because it's instantly with the thing. Yep.
That's a charge. That's a charge from the
Yep.
Yeah,
Perfect.
so that's an instantaneous effect.
Yeah, so you didn't. So, but that Arcana, that only just took like a couple minutes of you like really like getting into it with the goggles, reading those weaves to determine. So yeah, you still probably guys got like 50 minutes on those spells easily.
Yeah, it is indeed a 1 minute time, regardless of whether or not. If I use a spell slot, it's a minute. If I use a charge, it's a minute. If I ritual do it, it's 11 minutes.
Yep, perfect. All right, so yeah, you guys head back on it and into the bar.
all right. So we'll just walk up and Morgan just be like, hey, how's it going? And we'll sort of make some introductions, and then oh shit, he's with that bugbear. Crap. I'm glad I put this on because that would have really been a buzzkill for everybody. We'll just whoops, wrong direction. We'll just make a lap, and let's see if we can get this going.
All right, you guys get going into. So, what's the exact approach here? Yeah, so I'll let whoever like do a thing. We can make this like role play it out, do the skill checks as needed. Whoever wants to initiate, and then we'll see.
I think Morgan would take the lead on this real quick, and she'd just be like, hello, my friend. Are you still drinking for the evening? Can I buy you one?
Oh, you're back. Oh, we were wondering. I've been trying to find Blue, but yeah, let's. You ready for another round?
I'm always ready for another round, darling.
Oh, this grandma likes to party, all right. I don't think I've ever seen an elf look as old as you.
It's, I wouldn't say exactly rare, but, yes, I don't think that they typically stay out drinking this late. Speaking of, I have a friend here that I'd like you to meet.
Oh?
Oh, hello. My name is. Please meet you. Who is this gentleman you introduced me to there, Morgen? Try to put on the worst fake voice he can.
I love it.
I mean, at this point, you see him like he puts his hand out to like shake the man's hand, and his cloak bellows out behind him like a rush of wind comes from him or comes like toward him. He puts his hand out.
Oh,
So you are.
You talk funny.
That's so true. So true. A lot of people around here have said that. My name, just to introduce myself to you, is Alsharkton.
God in heaven.
Can I give reverse inspiration? No.
That's one of my aliases I
Yep.
put like beginning of this
Yep.
campaign.
Been waiting for that one.
I've been waiting for it too.
Yeah, he
Hands still out.
rolled the absolute worst you could roll on any sort of insight sniff perception check. He's just like, well, Sharkton. The name is Gluzo. Nice to meet ya. Gluzo.
And your
Gluzzo.
Your friend next to you?
And he goes to like turn and he goes like, it's and the person speaks up, it's Abbott. The name's Abbott. And he says, you remember me earlier, right, Grandma?
Oh, yes, I do, my dear. I remember you quite well. You're the biggest fan of my joke.
We have a creepy old lady in the town. She's not nearly as fun as you are.
Oh, I think I've heard a thing or two about her.
Oh, I try and stay away. It creeps me out, but and we're drinking, we're having fun. I'm celebrating. It was my daughter's birthday yesterday, and I did all the things, survived the attack. We're out enjoying life and having fun.
Oh, you're part of the attack that happened down the road here. Is that
Well,
correct?
I work in the guard. I'm supposed to be, just like a runner, just like I wear the uniform. I'm not, and look at him. He's like pretty small stature. He's a drow, but like small, like very youthful, but like even as a kid, like even Aljin's like, this kid's pretty runted, and thinks of him as a kid, even though it's like a 19, 20-year-old probably, like 18, 19. And he says like, I was just making a quick run, but I got, in one of the ambushes by the engines. I had to help push them in. Yes, I just, was able to get home and celebrate the day with my daughter and just come out and make so many friends today. This people in the city are so grumpy and just like, they just, I don't know. It's hard for people to open up here.
Well, what way else to celebrate than with a drink? I hope the spirits here have been strong enough for you.
Hi, and you see he like kind of like has that like lean back in a chair and just like shake of the head, and he's just like, I lost count.
It's very interesting. We will actually buy you around for at the attack and your daughter's wedding, but we don't, or what, your daughter's birthday, but we don't want to keep you out too late because, your daughter, I'm sure whoever is keeping track of her right now might be missing you at this late hour.
They're I got my family, my mom and dad, they're watching her, and just, let me get out a night on my own and just kind of, just enjoy myself. You guys are so nice.
Excellent.
What are your names? You were El Sharkton?
El Sharkton.
Oh,
yes.
that's I love that name. And it was Morgen?
Yes, Morgen Megen.
And then Saeryn, are you around at this point? You like in the wing?
No, I'm paying attention from a different table at this point.
Awesome. Go ahead and give me a perception check. 13. You're watching all this, you're hearing these interactions and everyone, you're like, you're trying to take it in, read it. Even with that perception, like, even getting like a good passive insight, this person is going along with whatever. Like, he is fully in, like, just caught up in that moment. But you do notice it is off by the side. There is at one of the other tables, you see a woman there. It is human, is more like a darker skinned hair pulled up, like black hair into like a bun, just like typical, maiden's dress, like spun wool, just, nothing too flashy, nothing that like says, it's like, hey, like I wear a couple good dresses and that's what I have. But you see they're sitting there watching like the scene and like looking over, and they keep like just, they're at a table by themselves with like a single cup. They're barely sipping out of it, and they keep like peeking over towards in like Abbott's direction. And just, like just keep looking over every few minutes, and you just catch that as you're gazing back and forth. We catch.
I'm out of subtle spells.
Yep. So you catch that moment. Is there anything else you're thinking, feeling in that moment?
I don't like more eyes on that encounter. And the way she keeps looking over there suspiciously means she's either A, interested in Abbott and therefore might be paying more attention to what goes into his drink, or might be the person who set all this up. But I'm not going to know that. What I know, because I can't detect her thoughts or anything, what I know is that she's paying way too damn much attention to what's going on. So I think I'm going to buy I'm going to buy 1 ale from the bar and 1 water. And then using just a real quick flick of the wrist with shape water while I'm walking over to her table, I'm going to turn my water into the same color and opacity as the ale. And then I'm going to put one ale down in front of her and say, "Hey there, I noticed you're sitting by yourself and was wondering what your night was going."
Yeah, so you just kind of walk up and like you see like it kind of startles her out of like she did not notice you coming at all. Go ahead, just make a quick persuasion check.
Would you be shocked to know that I'm kind of okay at this?
I
But
realize,
not great.
I realize I don't ask for a lot of those, so it's hard, I want to give those chances. Yeah, so you come over and just kind of like thunk that down, and she like looks over and like that startled moment, she's like, you brought me a drink?
Yes, just that.
Oh.
I was sitting over there at that table by myself, and I was looking over here, and I saw you sitting over here by yourself, and I was like, it's a big tavern. We should probably consolidate a little bit, let more people in here so they can all get drinks and sit at tables with each other. And I figured, there's no sense of wasting 2 perfectly good tables. Let's get together and talk.
Oh my, you talk a lot. That's so thoughtful. And you see like, a little taken aback, and she goes to like, she grabs the drink and pulls it closer, doesn't immediately take a sip yet, but she's like, what is your name?
Oh, my name, good mistress, is Arlo Morningwood. What is your name?
Morningwood. Oh, nice to meet you. My name is Sheila.
And that clicks in his head.
Yep. She's like, yeah, pleasure. Are you new to town?
Yes, just passing through. Hopefully, we're just gonna make a few stops. Do a little bit of trading.
Oh, yeah, yes. There's a few shops in the town. There's
anything
honestly
that has
not
something
much
of the more.
here.
I was about to ask if there's anything that had any, say, of the more exotic goods.
I don't. If there were, I can't be bothered. I don't know about any of that. And you see, like, she kind of has like a demure look and like glances down, like almost like insecure, like down towards the glass, and she's just like, this town holds nothing but bitterness and pipe dreams.
Bitterness and pipe dreams, eh? What kind of dreams are going down the pipe?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring you down with my worries and troubles.
I'm sure you will find that deeply impossible.
No, my mother, bless her heart, rest her soul, she always, you make your own fortune. And
now that's a woman after me own heart.
hi. And go ahead, make an insight check.
I am crushing some of these rolls today.
Yeah, I
mean,
fucking
these plus ones
love
and crap.
it, dude. I love it. So with like knowing what you know of the interaction, like she keeps saying things that could be, you know, like, oh, that's just a random weird statement, but like with the knowledge you have, everything she's saying is pretty fucking loaded. Like, you know, very obliquely referring to what she has no idea you guys are putting in motion actively. But like, it is
Wait, you said she's loaded as in she's drunk, or loaded as in she's rich?
Like everything she's saying is just like has weight to it. Like, oh, I'm making my own fortune, and like, you know, in the back of your head, like, oh, I know that now because you're Sheila and my friend is trying to pour a drink into someone else's drink for, you know, like that's, you just have that like bizarre awareness of like a third party in that interaction you're having for the first time.
Yeah.
But like she is like kind of like, you have like actually thoroughly distracted her. You've only kind of noticed her like, she keeps catching herself and then glances back over towards the bar where the other people are at, but then comes back to you and she's just like, I don't think I'm going to be in this town long anymore. You know, things go well. I have, you know, a few plans, but when, you know, your whole family throws their life away to... And she just kind of gestures around at the city, you know. She's like, what hope is there for a young maiden who has to fight for what she wants?
Well.
And she kind of like is like giving you like those eyes now, like, you know, like it's just like there's like an actual intensity behind it. Now you're noticing with that 16.
I'm trying to figure out where the intensity is coming from. Oh god, oh shit, oh god. Yeah, like you said, you have to make your own fate. And there's many, many ways to do that. So, you know, can't rain every day.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well.
I will 100% steal from the crow.
And she says, "I'll cheers to that."
I'm going to cheers her and drink my water that has been colored to look like ale.
So she has the ale.
Yeah, she has the ale. I'm chugging mine.
And so she like kind of goes to like match you, like she goes to take a sip and then like catches you like chugging. She's like, her eyes wide. She's like, well, like, you know, like, oh shit, that personal social awkward challenge that she feels that she now has to rise to the match, and yeah, perfectly playing into your ploy. We cut away from that back to the bar, and it said, yeah, the guy's like, oh, my name is Gruzo, nice to meet ya. It was Al Sharpton, right?
Oh yes, it's Al Sharpton.
Yeah.
Pleased to meet you. It's
Yeah.
very interesting to see. I haven't seen from a lot of. He's the bugbear, right?
Yeah.
A lot of bugbears. So I apologize if I stare too much.
I would say I notice you keep looking at my tattoo. You want to know how I got it?
I'm very interested, but I'm more interested in how this man here survived such a daring event as this afternoon, guard duty is very complicated and scary, is it not? Is that what you plan on doing the rest of your days? You're so young.
And you see, you kind of like talk over past Gluzo real fast, looking towards Abbott, and he's like, so there I was running down the street, and all of a sudden, shouts all ring out around me. These monsters come spilling out. And actually, like, Morgan, you heard him tell this story earlier in the night, probably at least twice. This third time he's telling the story that you heard, it has changed very, very much. It started off as he was running through the town, he sees off in the distance the guards go running, and like they ask him to come help, like be a shield wall to push. Now it's like he's saying, like, there I was, these monsters, they come spilling out of the alleyway, this poor maiden right there next to me. I push her off into safety, close the door, make sure she's okay, and then I pull out my sword. You see, it's like if a dagger could be called a short sword, this would still not quite make it. He's basically carrying a letter opener that's glorified at this point, and he's just getting into all of these details, that all of you who actually were in battle earlier were like, oh, that's cute. And there I was, in just a flurry, I just attack, all in a matter of like a few seconds. Like, oh my god, you should have seen how fast I was.
That's amazing. So you fancy yourself as sort of a combat aficionado. Is that correct?
And I think I might have found my calling. If they need a push into the, rise, help push those demons back, I got them.
Well, I have a friend around here. Let me find him. If you're interested in some, help on becoming a even better swordsman than you already are. I'm sure you're just magnificent at this point. But I have a friend here that can help with enhancing your abilities. If you would like to, have a chat with him.
Oh, I mean, you take whatever you can get around here. I gotta, protect my family.
Get you pushed up in the ranks a little bit, maybe higher.
Yeah.
And he looks around and spots Saeryn, and like, oh, he's right next to us. Amazing coincidence here. He wouldn't call him Saeryn. Arlo, would you?
Yeah. Okay.
I've been consistent with the Arlo usage.
Yeah. I was about to be like, and what? But it's like, we'll say chess piece rules. You did not take your hand off the sentence.
Nope. No. Oh, would you come and meet our new friend here, Morgen, my new friend?
I will say there is a spell called Gift of Gab from Acquisitions Incorporated, but no, sorry.
yeah.
It's a spell that no one will ever take except for Emily Axford.
Sorry, go ahead.
This gentleman here is a great swordsman, but wants to maybe push himself up to the next level. Is there, Emily, anything that you can do, since you are, so good with potions and concoctions?
Okay, I mean, I've been drinking all night, so what are we talking about here? This guy's been getting progressively more and more like South Boston, like.
I noticed that. Well, I don't know where my accent's going because it's all over the place.
Yeah, no.
Mine's been a cross of like a fake New Zealand, Boston, Midwestern, like Wisconsin type thing. So I'm not gonna blame you for that.
I play off of yours a lot, and it's like sometimes like there would be moments where I'm like, oh man, I'm sounding way too Saeryn. I need to.
Yeah, there was that one episode session where I like couldn't get out of Saeryn accent.
Yeah.
It's been like a month. I think all of her accents are all over the place.
This is why I need to get better trigger words. I do not have this problem with Vasily, and I never had this problem with Sybil. So
I love it. No, it's amazing. So sorry, get back into the conversation. Where he actually had potions. He's like, oh yeah, I mean, let's try that. That sounds good. I should ask you to make a persuasion check.
Yeah.
L.
Me?
Yeah. I guess what name are you using?
Is there any way that I can assist with this by like sitting up at the mention of my name and like kind of like twinkling the rings and like various baubles on my outfit and be like,
yeah,
just like to make
already-
myself look like a kind of like not shabby, like I might actually be an alchemist.
Yeah. Thanks to Morgan, I already have advantage on this.
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
So Morgan's already given me advantage.
Awesome.
On my
you you do that, but like no, you still are able to provide that assistance and help. And we'll say, hey, if there's advantage and additional help comes, sometimes DCs can be adjusted, and like everything does add up. Like things can compile together. So fuck yeah. So he just like says that moment. Sorry, go ahead.
Can I talk you into deception since I'm using a bunch of
Yeah,
names
actually, you know what? It is a lot of
that's still
deception going on
that's
here.
Still charisma based.
Because it is, you're not, like, you're persuading them to do something, but through deceptive means, so 100%.
So still.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
love
the difference between a +5 to a +8. So
fair,
that
valid.
advantage.
You are lying out your fucking teeth that are hovering about a foot above where your head actually is.
That's true.
Actually, no, make that 6 inches because a head is tall.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah.
So 21 on with advantage.
Hell yeah. And he's like, oh, really? And he like goes and looks around and like takes a peek over and he's like, oh, yeah, let me. He's the guy?
Yes, this is the guy.
Oh, and he like kind of like nods and makes that eye contact and looks over at you. Real fast. We're going to do a luck check.
I don't know if do I want it high or do I want it low?
I was going to say, I am willing to let portents be used in luck checks.
I'm gonna hold on to the portent. I might need it.
Yeah, because I'm going to say this is a hidden DC or number, but I have it established.
Who do you want to roll it?
I'm going to roll it, actually.
There we go.
That's good. As you make that pass off to that person, you see that bugbear sitting next to you, Al. His arm goes over. At first looks like he's about to like do it like quick, like pat you on the head. And then like it's just like that motion as you move and gesture towards over where Saeryn is that puts you into like he kind of gets you in like a hug around your back instead, like in your midsection. So he does not notice any discrepancy. Like you like it is with that, like it happens in a drunken enough like exaggerated motion of he's like coming over to pat you on the head and you're like, oh no. You're able to kind of adjust to correct course, and then you make that pass off to Saeryn there. And he says, oh, you got... And he kind of comes and walks over to you, like, well, he looks...
I'll put a hand out and say, I'll be right there. Just give me 1 second to tie up this loose end.
Yeah.
So, Sheila, like you were saying, it's time to go make some fate happen.
I can hear the wink.
Yeah.
I can hear the wink.
I did. I actually,
voice.
I'm alone. The
voice,
camera's
I
off.
can
I
hear-
winked at my monitor.
So I would say, was there a wink there? Go ahead. She's gonna get an insight with advantage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll this.
I'm gonna wink. Yeah.
Yep. 19 on the die. You see she's about to say something because she as Abbott catches your attention, she her eyes get sharp and focused and she gets upset that whatever happens, and then you make that wink and that notice. She's her eyes go wide. She's like, oh.
Last thing I'll do is I will go ahead and I'll just very subtly change the color of... Well, no, I drank all my water and I haven't got another one, so I don't have to do anything with that.
Amazing, yeah. And you see she kind of sits back down, kind of her head is swimming, just wait, what's happening here now? Just starting to reconfigure this entire evening, basically. And
good luck with it.
yeah, the giddiness of wait, am I actually getting what I want? And what does that mean? You catch that and that quick from your insights from before. Yeah. And you're able
And
to
then
move over.
Saren's going to move over to Abbott.
Amazing.
Hey there, my name is Arlo. You may call me Arlo because that's my name.
Arlo, yeah, nice to meet you.
And I understand that you're looking for something. I'm not really quite sure what it is, but I'm sure we can come to some kind of accommodation.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just trying to do my best, you know? Just trying to, make myself as good as I can for me and my daughter. Yeah, I'm just leaning into it now. Fuck it.
Excellent. Yeah, go do it. Bazzoxan is Boston Sand.
Boston Sand. The water is poison.
The water's poison here. Welcome to South Swarfit. Beard is up.
Yeah.
He is.
Bum, 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 bum.
He's being very modest, Arlo. He has fought off numerous of the incursion today, and he just wants to get better and maybe get the eye of some uppers in the gods. So he thought maybe you could help him with some of his, abilities with some of your amazing concoctions.
Let's see. I'll tell you what. You have two options. I lost my accent. One second.
Yep. Hey, we're all getting there, man.
I was falling into Basley, Moose and Squirtle. You have two options.
Lemons, lions, Okay.
So we got two options. Yeah, and so
okay.
why don't you come away from this bar with me? Let's get ourselves an extra drink. So let's go talk over here at this table, all right?
Yeah. And as you go to extract him, I'll say, does Finn or Morgan go to intercept the bugbear? I don't know why we're getting so in depth of playing this out, but I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I feel
It's
like
a
I would.
heist.
Yeah, so you guys both move in, and like he goes to like, oh wait, where you go? Oh, it's you guys, and whew, you guys intercept and let Saeryn extract Abbott, and he's like, oh yeah, well, okay, what do we? And like you see, he's doing that like, think of like a kid's first drug deal. Where like he's like starting to like look extra like overtly around the bar to like be quote unquote discreet and like head ducked and like starting to like leans over aggressively to whisper like, okay, what are we talking about here?
All right. Well, first of all, right now we're just talking. So what I want you to do is I want you to release a little bit so that you can sit on top of the seat instead of pulling it inside of you. Okay?
Yeah, okay. Where do I put my feet?
On the ground is fine if you can reach it.
Barely.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, we have basically two options. And at this point, like Saeryn puts a beer down in front of him, puts a beer down in front of himself. We have two options. One of the options is I give you something that improves your reflexes a little bit. Not too much, but just enough to give you a bit of an edge. And Saeryn will lean over and like do a tap on the ale glass and turn it in kind of from like an ale color to like a kind of a swimming darker red.
Mm-hmm.
It might look something like that.
Oh.
Tap on it again, it changes back.
Oh wow.
Or I give you something that might get your superior officers to pay you a bit more mind. Something that just gives you a little bit extra something when they look at you. And he taps his own glass, and it looks exactly like the filter of love, except it's not obviously hearts.
Yeah, it just has like whatever bubble foam and stuff, and he sees that, and he's like, oh, and he's like kind of sits there and like almost debates, but he's like, we see his eyes keep being drawn back to that one for sure. He's like, a little something extra.
It's a slight bit of the reflexes, or something that just gets you a little bit more in the eyes of your superiors. What's your inclination?
My reflexes are fine. I think I want some more. And he like doesn't even like, and he goes and reaches over and grabs that one like straight up.
Okay, that is actually just ale right now.
Oh no. So he goes to reach for it. Do you like go to like or like do you stop him?
I'm gonna let him just like drink it. I'm gonna look at him as he drinks it.
Uh-huh.
All right, so buddy, that was just ale. I hadn't done anything to it other than change the color.
What?
Yeah, no, this. I'm gonna give you something, but you just drank my ale.
Oh, I thought that I thought I had to choose one of them, and
oh no,
I thought that was a test.
You do have to choose one of them. This is a visual demonstration of what it should look like when you have the real thing. I lean over, I grab his ale, I put it in front of me, I tap on it, I make it clear. I tap on it, I make it blue. This is just a thing. This is what an alchemist can do sometimes. I tap on it and turn it back to ale. All right, but that's the one you want.
Yeah.
Take it, put it directly in front of him. And then under the table, I slide him the actual vial, the filter.
Oh, okay. And he like feels it, and he's like, oh. And he's like,
now I'm going to tell you this: don't put it in ale.
Yeah.
What you want to do is tonight, when you get home, or if you're in a tavern or whatever, when you get home, what I want you to do is I want you to take it, pour it in some water. All right, fresh water, spring if you can, but anything that is drinkable will work. Drink it. Go to sleep.
And you see, he's like looks at it, and he's holding it in his hand. He's like, so this will make me better. Bottoms up.
Very much so.
And he goes and like, he is like enthralled at this point. Because you guys already did the stuff. You got him here. He sits there and takes it. He drinks it right there.
Like he just gets some water, pours it in the water, drinks it.
Yeah,
or does he just drink the vial?
Yeah, he just drinks the vial straight up. He's just like,
well, all right. Well, that's gonna probably make
I'm
you
gonna live
sleepy.
forever. And just takes a drink. Foolish. Like even Aljin might be watching this. Just like, wow. This kid is young and dumb.
And at this point, this is where I start watching and see how fast this thing takes effect, because I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Actually, Aljin was probably watching him going, he was told we had to get these guys to drink the vial, and he drank the vial. That's exactly what we're supposed to do. We did our job. That's like that's Aljin's whole thing. Yep, we did our job.
Morgen. At the moment he takes a sip of that, you weren't even aware of it at this point, but it feels like if you can feel like there was like a bit of thread wrapped tight around your chest that was compressing it in just enough of a way that you didn't notice, but once it's removed, you take that first full breath and you just feel that weight release.
I think I would kind of glance over at Aljin and give him like that look, like it's done, with like that slight sigh of relief, kind of backing that, just like the,
yeah,
like the now I can rest.
And then I think Saeryn is gonna look at the situation. I'm not really sure how long it takes effect. I know that it should be pretty approximate, pretty solid connection because of my Arcana and whatnot. But I think Saeryn is a walking good luck charm. Does the whole like controls fate and destiny thing. It's still gonna get his hands dirty and say, congratulations, we should celebrate what you just did. And I think I know the best way to do it with a little bit of dancing. What do you say to dancing?
Oh yeah, like, oh my god, I can't thank you guys enough. Like, this changes. I feel amazing. And he gets up and he'll start getting up and dancing with you.
Yeah, I'll start dancing with him, and then I'm gonna wave Sheila over to come dance.
And as she's like looking over Wrapped, and she catches that, like, as you like look over in her direction, and she's like eyes wide and look a little weary, but then like as you do and gesture in her direction, you see Abbott. He goes and looks over, and he's just like, oh, Sheila, have you been there this whole time? And she says, yes, And he's like, mood changes, like his face lightens up. We're going very abrupt change of view. And he's like, I've always loved you. What are we doing here? What are we doing in this town? Like, we need to run away. We need to go. It's me and you. Let's hit the road. Right now.
Oh, fuck.
Fucking, just nothing that can stop us. Me and you versus the world. Fucking nothing will ever tear us apart. And I promise that. And he, like, pulls her close, looks at her eyes. She's like, yes. Just, she has everything she's ever wanted. He has everything he thinks he ever wanted. And the two of them go running out of the bar.
Saeryn realizes suddenly that maybe that potion didn't have anything left in there for, like, the daughter or the or his parents. I've been played again. Shit.
Yeah. You do have that thought.
At least I'm not giving this one to the goddamn Dryads. Hey, what's up with that tattoo?
Oh, and then he goes, I was like, what? Oh, you want to hear about my tattoo?
God damn.
And he pulls you over. He's like,
I heard that, Aljin.
Oh, damn it.
oh yeah. So Morgen, Aljin, you guys, as you witness that scene, you both probably also have that realization. I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think a little bit. Yeah.
you catch that, and Gluzo sitting there's just like, oh, there I was making my trek right outside of Sirius. I used to work with the Baron Visco there. I was making my rounds.
I recognize any of these names.
That one doesn't catch your name particularly. Sirius is the city, it's the town of beasts. Aljin, you recognize that because that was where you came from, actually. That was like the first city where you landed in here in the wastelands.
Yeah.
Pulling up a map of the Menagerie Coast at this point.
So this is in the Jorhas wastelands. Sirius, it's the city of beasts here in the wastelands. Let me pull you over.
Yeah, I gotta put one on there. So we have one pinned in the channel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yep. This map is useless because it doesn't have labels.
In another deep channel, we have the map pinned. I think I pinned it.
Yeah, it's in one of the handouts.
Yeah, we have the handouts too.
Yeah, I'll let you guys find it. But yeah, so that's like pretty much. If you're looking here, it's like right in the center of the land, like probably right around here, I'm thinking. But he's like, so there I was making my rounds, and I met a strange group of fellas. They just kind of peered out of the rocks at me, and I was ready to kill them. They had me outnumbered, but I could have taken them. But then this one orc, he looks at me. He says, I am the dread pirate, Captain Tusktooth. And they slayed a mighty beast in front of me, saved my life as we're being attacked by the Dwandalian bastards, a whole wave of rogue scouts imprisoning on our land. And in a tribute, they gave me this tattoo. I was the very first, they said, the very first honorary crew. Anytime I want to settle the seas with them. You guys are like, that sounds half true.
No, knowing that there's no, from where that is, there's no actual port. I guess it's a river, but so you got the tattoo.
What was the name? They went by the Strong Seven.
God damn it.
Yeah, that was it. The Strong Seven. Because, had that, like, alliteration with it. That's why I remember it.
I mean, all good pirates have good alliterations. With their name.
Yeah.
That's my fault. That's the character's fault at that point. I'm not using the fake voice. I mean,
He's like,
yeah, all good pirates have the correct, just the alliterations. That's what everybody says. Good pirates have it. Not like
You smell. You smell weird. You smell familiar. And you see he is taking big long with his nostrils they're flaring up. And he's like, "Why do you smell so familiar?"
What do I smell like?
I can't place it. Well, anyway, what were you saying? And you see he kind of gets lost in a daze of his drink. Yeah, that's a strong 7. That's who I was talking about. They gave me the tattoo. Tusk tooth.
Huh. Pretty interesting. Any more questions there, Arlo?
Oh, you guys need anything while you're in town? I mean, anything a little extra. And he goes to does a little wink with he does that weird hand signal that Aljin means nothing to you. It seems like he just does something weird with his hands. But Saeryn, you notice it as a myriad call sign.
I don't think we need anything right at the moment, but
yeah.
I think that if we need anything in the future, you think we can meet you here?
So I work during the day. There's the butcher shop right around downtown. It's right next to. It's two in the same building. There's the butcher shop. It's the Reap and Sow.
The Reap and Sow?
Yeah, the Reap and Sow. And then it's right next to it's the store is the Aggregate.
Getcha.
The gates. And he gestures up in the direction towards the rest.
Yeah.
I'm the muscle there.
Let's put the location.
Yeah,
and
boss.
I give him the myriad hand signal for stand by but interested.
Gotcha. He's like, oh, yeah, okay. I had a feeling.
Wink.
Yeah, no, stop
no
on.
one knows what I'm doing.
Every time you say hand signals, I just am picturing the crudest hand gestures ever.
Yeah, it's like someone doing that fake fake sign with one finger, one's it's sometimes it's even us so Saeryn, feel free to create with me in this it's something of you put your hand on the table and then you tap with the index finger to the right of the middle finger on your left hand 3 times, or it's a thing with you make an okay sign and then rub the back of your ear, shit like that also.
Yeah, it has to be stuff that is completely reproducible, but also no one would ever do it on accident.
Yeah, think baseball signs, but casual.
Yeah, a baseball sign, but I do it while I'm brushing my hair and my horns.
Yeah, exactly. So there's the occasional wow, he picked up that picture weird, with only your middle finger or something like that, to an outside observer, it's a little weird maybe, but not even.
It doesn't look like ASL or anything like
that.
No,
exactly. You guys are not doing clear communications. Yeah, it's phrases with gestures and very low key. There's signifier phrases that hey, this is the beginning of a code, and then that it's I don't know, that type of shit fascinates me actually. I always thought that was really a fun way to think of and depict that, thieves canting.
Yeah. Which I do not have. Like all of everything I'm not that proficient in the myriad cans. So.
Fair, but yeah, I probably. Yeah.
With my background, I picked up a little, but like most of it is stand by, but we're interested because I have to keep putting people on layaway.
Yeah, like you're able to make because you've always been like a connections guy, not I'm in the shit guy, but you know how to find fences. And that's basically, he gives you like a gesture of like, fence and, extra goods, basically. He's like, yeah, look for Ogrogans at the aggregate.
Gotcha.
All right. You fucking... And he's like, goes to stand up and he like kind of sways a little bit, which to see a bugbear drunk. It's been a minute, and it's I'm gonna say because Aljin, it's been a while. You guys have been watching. No intelligence roll required. You have not seen this bugbear put gold money down at all the entire time you've been drinking with him. And he goes and looks at you. He's like, "Thanks for the drinks flowing." And he goes and just like walks away after nodding in your direction. And you realize he's been drinking. You gave the bartender some gold. You said keep him flowing.
Crap. I'm assuming that's all been covered. I'm not gonna really.
Yeah, he has not ringed you up. Like the amount that you put down, it's like the entire city could be wasted.
That's kind of the point. I mean, sort of. Not really, but sort of the point at this point was just to be like, we're here, good time for everybody. But now I realize that's too much money. Not from this area.
And it's you look around and you realize everyone here, all the other random people say, let's go back to the scene of the actual bar, the ready room, or I have it labeled the Bazzoxan. You see like every table has a lot of like people have been drinking a lot, and you're like, oh, have I? Was that me?
At this point, I'd be like, if the bugbear left, I'll like put my hood up, drop the disguise, pull it back down, be like, I hope everybody's having a good time. We're the ones that bought the rounds for everybody. Everybody having a nice night? Sort of looking around, yelling out to everybody.
Aye! Round of cheers.
Yeah, it's a good time. All right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and you see the barkeep. He's like, I do say, I think that's probably the extent of what you gave us.
I'm not giving you any more. And I'm just walking.
Then we cut him off. And you hear from the back room, the female just like yells, "About time!" And you see everyone starts to settle down for the night and make their way. You guys have your beds already done, more than paid for, through deeds and gold and actions.
Should we find Ludo before we settle in? Or, I mean, he knows we're here. Should we go check our room first? Maybe we should just check the room first.
Wouldn't it just be the way where he's just been sitting in there for a couple hours?
That'd be fun. That'd be really funny. He was just sitting there. Where you guys been? Sorry. I guess let's check the room, and then maybe I'll take a walk down to that.
Agreed.
That ruin. So let's go ahead and check in, see what we got.
All right, so you all make your way down, and you were pointed out some rooms in the thing. You're able to have your pick on like whatever row. We'll, pretty much say out of these 4 rooms at the bottom. As you all go in and make your way down and turn that corner, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you 3 right over here. The torches flickering, kind of bouncing off the walls, casting the shadows long over the hall. All the doors, hard wood, brown and dark, flickering in that candlelight as well. It's pure silence on this floor. Besides, there's no noise coming from this floor. You can hear the raucous and the stomping from above. But as Morgen, you're leading the way, and you take that right turn to go down that hall. You see your rooms. You guys can do whatever you want.
All that work up for go to your room.
Yeah, just you never
Oh,
know
that's
what's waiting around the corner. I don't know.
Probably go right. No, go
Yeah. You walk in. Saeryn, as you open the door, walk in. Torchlight bursts forth. Yeah, you see a bed. It's just empty. An empty chest at the bottom.
Hold on, I see my token. Which one's my room?
Whichever one you choose.
I'm gonna let the very nice old elf lady get plenty of rest. No, we each get our own.
Yep.
The temptation to go into the room that has the pants and shirt thrown all over the place is.
Hey, you don't see
Upsettingly
that until
large.
you peek, but no.
Yeah, I'm not gonna peek.
And I say you guys easily enough to go get your room, settle in, put your gear down. It has been a long day. Traveling on the road through the heat wave, coming up to the gates, rude ass guards, fighting some demons, meeting with the task hand, going back to the inn, meeting a few visiting locals, a few actual locals, making a couple deals with some hags, scrying on your missing friend, and slipping a poison into a young suspecting fool who absconded and eloped with a person leaving his entire life and responsibilities behind. You settle all down.
It's the first time I've made an orphan that way.
You all settle down into your rooms, Finn, with maybe the intention of going back out seeking Ludo.
Yeah, I think checking out the rooms and sort of like peeking into a couple other ones. I wouldn't necessarily sneak out, but I would like just go down the hallway. I'll like get out of the room. I don't know if I would tell there too, but I would start leaving.
Yeah. I would say Morgen, you probably would have the passive perception to hear the footfalls, unless Finn makes an active stealth roll.
No, I'm not gonna actively stealth roll.
Easy enough. At that point, I think we'll leave it off with the footfalls of Aljin fading down that hallway, the flickering torchlight in that inn here in the city of Bazzoxan. You all have had a couple reflects and refocuses of a legend lore cast by Nanazoya to help reframe and refocus on what has been behind the scene and pulling these strings of fate that have been driving you towards this point. You all, maybe your minds reflect on the other team of people that you are having your doubts about on their capacity to do what is necessary going forward, maybe. We'll leave all of that to be determined at a later time, and we will wrap up the session there.
Nice.
Woo-hoo!
Fucking amazing, y'all.
Fun from
This is
start
awesome.
to finish on this one. Starting off with the little song
Yep.
you did, all the way to just us being absolute idiots trying to get a guy to drink a potion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
we did a
went better
lot
than I
more
could've.
work grifting him into doing that than I think anyone
Yeah.
expected.
I love, I was like, oh, we're going through it. Okay, hell yeah, this is amazing.
I mean, we could have made like 2 rolls and be like, all right, and we did it, hooray! But what's the fun in that?
We could have just like slipped it into the drink and then just like been done with it. I was thinking we could do the stealth route, we could do the speech route. I'm like,
Okay,
really
well, who has a
bad.
sleight of hand for that?
Yeah.
No, I
it makes
don't.
more sense because we had Sarah and I had the conversation about grifting people earlier, so it sort of fits the episode a
bill.
little bit. Yeah.
One of the reasons I was asking about like the effective dose or whatever was the idea was I was going to convince him to have like a drink of this like liquor with me that you put in your like your ale or whatever, and then I was going to change the color of my glass to look exactly like. I was going to put the actual filter in his glass, see that color, change my glass to look like that, but pretending to put some in, and then I was going to freeze and then I was going to drink it.
Amazing.
Or I was going to put a little bit in mine, put the rest in his, and then freeze the very top millimeter of my glass so that I actually couldn't drink any of it.
That's a cool idea too.
Yeah.
The control fire and control flame and shape water are just dumb.
They
silly
can do
useful.
so much, like actual useful cantrips. Here at the end of this, before we leave out, I'm not trying to, do too much an extra. I'm playing this song for a reason. I did get up to 10 days, because you guys did 10 days of travel. And hasn't got there yet. We have 2 more verses to go, but basically it goes 10 days of travel. You all roleplayed for me. 10 long rests, 9 orcish warlords, 8 legged spiders, 7 windy sandstorms, 6 knived bandits, 5 undead things, 4 laden war horses, 3 shiny diamonds, 2 fey dryads, 1 slain new deck, and a magic dagger for Kier Charlie. That's what I had. So
Hell yeah.
We've done it. We've done it. Where's my Santa hat?
I'm over it, y'all. Good night. Fucking bless your souls.
Saeryn paints his nose red. Hey, who am I?
Yep. Oh man, it's just going into the new year. All we need is to take those small actions to make our lives better, and that's all I'm gonna end it on.